Welcome to Forget About It Fridays Unfiltered. I'm your host, Paul Italia, joined by my right hand, Mr. E from No Limit Hauling. And today's special guest, the Junk Games rising star and marketing machine, Austin Hart. Real talk, no filters, big moves. Let's get into it. Let's forget about it, guys. What's up, Austin? How you doing today, brother?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for bringing me on. I've been a long time kind of backseat looker. I'm loving the brand and loving what you got going on. And after watching a couple of your episodes, I was like, I'm going to shoot this guy a message. I'd love to get on and shoot the breeze with him and, be a part of the network a little bit. I've been doing it for some time, but, never really engaged much with like the guys in the industry across the country, more so just local. So I've been kind of anxious to start meeting some of the guys around the country and stuff like that. So I feel like this was a good stepping stone for that. So I appreciate you bringing me on.
Oh yeah, well, thank you for coming on. And I want to say a quick shout out to everybody in the chat. We got my man Drew from Vegas representing. How are you today? And we got my man Dougie Do Right. How are you today, bro? And he says, pronounce that name right, and I'll buy you a smoothie at the expo. So Dougie Do Right, get me my smoothie at the expo, brother.
Dougie Do Right.
We got North Bay in the house. Ignacio, my man. How are you, brother? And wow, California is representing today. My man Cisco in the house, and my man Cisco is putting his sled to use. That is the hot tub sled I was telling him all about. Well, my man went and got that, and I'm getting videos every couple days of another one he's knocking out. So he's putting that to use, making a lot of money over there. Congrats, bro. Keep it up. Hell yeah. So, guys, let's get into things today, man. And I seen Austin over there. I think we seen him in the Facebook group, man. And he was talking demo and everything, and my ears perked up right away, just because this week I just had a big demo quote. A lady called me up and told me to come out. Now it's in the middle of nowhere, so it's 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back. So we got 80 minutes to a dump and all that. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. And so this is my first time to ever go quote a demo job. So I was a little nervous rolling up and everything. Well, I roll up there, and now we start walking to the backyard and everything. And this is a pretty far walk, and now we start going down a hill. And I'm like, oh shit, where is she taking me right now? Next thing I see this huge monster structure. In my head, this is what's going on in my head. Tell this lady you're not prepared for this. You can't handle this. You've never did anything like this, and move on. So lady starts talking and everything, and my head just keeps going, yep, definitely can't handle this. Way too big. All right, we're going to tell her we can't. All of a sudden, my mouth opens up. Sure, we can handle all this, and we'll start clearing out everything. And I'm like, did I really just say? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm putting myself in a position right now. So the way that it started off was, somebody was been breaking into this place and supposedly living in the shed or whatever. And I mean, they just wrecked the inside. It looks like there's animals living in there. There's no lights, no nothing. I mean, it is just 40 years worth of stuff in here and all. So the way I said, as I set the price for the full load, and I said, we're going to start clearing out that, by how many loads, that'll be your price. Then when we get everything out there, we'll talk demo. So I haven't thrown no numbers at her, anything like that. She's still up in the air if she wants to demo it. She was still saying that, she might want to keep the structure. But when I'm in it, the whole floor is literally just falling out from underneath. I think as soon as we get in there, it's going to fall apart. So it's 10 by 20. It's probably going to be about at least 50, probably 50 feet away from the truck. I'm going to have to bring it all the way up in the backyard in the grass and everything, but it's still going to be a 50 feet haul from there. And it's on this crazy, crazy kind of steep hill. So I'm just like in my head, I'm like, how, if I need to go and take this down, how do I even go about pricing this and all that? So Austin, I'm glad I have you on here for this. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
Nah,
what
man,
the
it's
hell
good.
do I do now, bro?
So yeah, I'm not super familiar with how California does things, availability of equipment, and how the rental stuff goes there, and what equipment you own. But it sounds to me like I call it I don't actually call it this to the client, but I call it to me uh, I call it an ass tax, which is a pain in the ass tax. But um, the down the hill stuff, 50 feet, it just sounds like something you're going to do with a machine, something like a 12 or an 18,000 pound Mini X. And once you get it on the ground, you can push it up the hill with the front blade, and load it into whatever you're going with, whether it's your personal trucks or dumpsters or whatever you're using for that project. But, I like to really utilize, I'm an efficiency guy, right? So I don't try to pinch pennies on well, I could probably tie a chain to this thing and pull it down if it's in as bad a shape as you can. That's something we might do here in Kentucky. I don't know how California is, but we got a lot of guys in Kentucky that might just tie a chain to something and rip it down. But if it comes down as easy as you say it's in bad shape. If it comes down that easy, you're really likely going to be able to just pile it up with an excavator, push it up the hill, load it, and go.
So I got to stop you right there, brother. So you lost me as soon as you started with the equipment, with the excavators and all. I've never worked anything like that with equipment. In my head, I'm going to that and I'm thinking like, sledgehammers. I'm going to, cut off the roof and all. So am I way over? Yeah.
So if it's a 10 by 20 structure, like you say it is, that's pretty small. If it's not too tall, if it was under 14 to 16 feet tall at its peak, I would say it's manageable by hand. But it all kind of depends on how busy your schedule is. Like if I look at something like that and I've got a day or two gap in my schedule, then maybe we could take it down by hand and lug it up the hill. But for $350, at least in Kentucky, I can get a piece of machinery that's going to allow me to get that done in a day, and I'm going to barely break a sweat because I'm going to be sitting in the seat and running it like a video game, with my hands. So it kind of just all depends on a lot of different factors, like how busy your schedule is, and then if you want a higher margin on the project, then you could do it by hand. But you just balance out like wear and tear on your guys or yourself versus doing it with equipment. So it's something like that. I'm probably going to do it with equipment, but that's not to say you couldn't do it with,
what's the formula now for pricing? Like, how would you go about pricing something like that?
So I am very different in the industry from what I've seen on pricing. I see a lot of guys throwing square foot numbers around, price per square foot on, this stuff and that stuff. And I've been doing this for 4 years. Last year, we did 140 different demolition projects. I've never priced anything by the square foot, not once. And that's because there's so many variables in the demolition process. The 10 by 20 structure, I didn't even ask you if it had some sort of foundation under it, right? So if it's a dirt floor versus a concrete foundation, that's going to change things. Same square footage, but it adds a different factor to it. So in this specific scenario, I have the most simple pricing model ever. It's just like everybody. How much is it going to cost me to do it? What kind of margins do I need to make based on the current company projections and budget? And then that's my number. So if I want to do it with a machine, I just take the machine costs, my disposal costs, estimated obviously. And if you've been doing it long enough, like, a lot of the guys here watching have, then you're pretty good at guessing your disposal costs and your volume. Then I just add it all up, come to my cost. And right now I'm operating at about a 45 to 50% gross margin. And I put that margin on there and that's my number. And as long as everything goes according to plan, we make the money that we need to and, go from there. So in this specific scenario, if it's a 10 by 20, I'm going to figure 230 yard dumpsters, just because I haven't seen it. I don't know what it looks like. I'm going to figure 230s, a piece of machinery at 350 and a day's labor for an operator, 320. My cost on that project is $1,570. And then I just throw my margin on top of it, and that's the money that I need to make. In this specific scenario, I'm going to look to make about $1,000 on that. And, that's my number. So $2,500, here's your quote. Have a nice day.
Okay. Mr. Yee, I want to hear you. How many demo jobs have you did? Is that part of, services that you offer and all?
Everything depends on the grade of that hill. If we can, get some kind of equipment down there as far as a debris box, or if I can get my 4-wheel truck down there.
Okay, hold on,
with
Mr. E. You're gonna understand the area, so I want to tell you the area and all. So as far as getting equipment, I don't think it's possible where we are. We're in Bodega Bay. So
oh yeah,
yeah,
so it's
bro,
gonna be
we're in the
so
middle of nowhere, windy roads, crazy mountains,
so
and that hill. There's no way of, I don't think, with equipment.
so like he said, you're gonna have to use that piece of equipment to dig your way up and hold your way up and drag your way up, but also with the equipment. And then we have to get a experienced equipment operator to do that. Otherwise, we are knocking that down. But here in California, there's a lot of regulations where you have to have a water tank. You have to wet the situation down, because some neighbors will complain and say, hey, there's dust everywhere. And now we have a situation where here comes code enforcement, or stop the whole project because the county just came out and hey, where is your water tanks to hose everything down? You have debris all in the air. And is that old building, does that old building has asbestos in it? Oh, so we don't know a lot of these things. So my experience with this type of situation is, like you said, I would have to go there, know my dump fees, know how many guys I'm going to have to get to do this job, and how am I going to get from A to B? Because I know a place out here where we're at, I can rent a piece of equipment, but it's double that of what he said. And then I will actually ask the owner, sorry for that, Ching, but I would ask the owner, can you operate the piece of equipment for me too? So we're going to have to probably add on another $500 bill for him. And say if it's a 10 by 20, that's probably doable for a day's work right there. And then gas and all that. But now that we're in Bodega Bay, we are, you know what I mean, in the boondocks. So all that, he said 1,500. I'm probably thinking
That's my
about
cost. Yeah.
I'm out here in Northern California. We're probably thinking $4,000 to $5,000.
Okay.
Just based
That's
on
crazy. Yeah.
Our prices, and then our gas fees, our labor fees, everything is double out here.
And Austin, and just so you know, brother, it's Bodega Bay is like a special place. It's not like a normal place.
Okay.
You're in the middle of nowhere, all the way far away by the coast and everything.
Okay.
Everything's hard to get over there. So, but I wanted to make mention is, my man Adam Hummel, he's been on the show quite often, and he's been helping me out with the pricing and all. And he goes by, it's $8 to $12 per yard. That is his. Now, once he heard, my dump prices, he said definitely be at the higher range. I think he even said $12 to $15 per square footage. And if you figure that out, I think it comes around $2,500 to $3,500. So, you have a different formula, Austin, of figuring out.
Yeah.
We came to the same pretty much price range and all.
Yeah.
So you're
and my costs are probably different. Like, I don't know what the disposal fees are where you are, or what a dumpster cost in your area. So,
what is your dump fees by you?
On average, it's about 80 a ton. It's about what we pay here. There's some places in Central Kentucky that will absolutely bend you over. And you'll end up paying with the city and taxes, and they use a fuel reclaim fee and all kinds of weird stuff. You might end up paying $120 to $130 a ton. So we avoid those. But
we walk around with sticks up our ass over here because we pay $165. Man, they stick it to us real good, man.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know what to do with that.
I think with this job, it would be networking with other haulers to get a debris box out there. Maybe, like you said, a 40-yarder, and then go from there. And then, hey, Yee, who's your guy who could rent the equipment and drive it all the way there for us? And can he be the equipment runner for the day?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? That's how, because he rents me D-Max trailers, skids. He's got everything, and he'll deliver it to your work site.
Yeah.
So Ignacio says, charge them per truck load and set an hourly rate. You'll come out fat. Hell yeah, man. And Jamie was just asking your name and everything. Jamie,
yeah. So
Austin Hart.
I've actually briefly talked to Jamie before on Facebook. I'm not sure if she remembers or not, but we have exchanged a handful of messages back and forth. So if you look at our messenger, I'm sure you'll find it somewhere in there.
Hell yeah. So let's start at the beginning, man, because I know we kind of just jumped right into the demo, and I was kind of being, because I had that question and all, but let's start from the beginning, man. How old are you? Where did you grow up? How did you find junk removal?
Yeah, man. I'll give you the quick version of it. So I'm almost 33. I'll be 33 in a couple months, or next month actually. I'll be 33 next month. I got out of the Marine Corps in 2017 and jumped into a job at a distillery. And I was there for a few years, and I moved to a position that I only worked 312s a week. And so I'm too much of a busybody to have 4 days off a week and not do anything with that time. So I bought a dump trailer, very similar origin story to a lot of guys. Bought a dump trailer, started renting it on the weekends, making a little cash. And then I had a lady one day say, "Hey, would you mind loading this stuff for me?" And I was like, sure, I'll tack on like 50 or $100 to load it, and I'll load it. And then, but I was in and out of there in 45 minutes versus letting it sit for the weekend. So I was like, okay, that was cool. Made about the same amount of money, and I was in and out in no time. So I kind of started, just telling friends, family, stuff like that, people that I knew, like, hey, I'll come clean your stuff out. I'll come do this. And, well, the rental aspect of a dump trailer, excuse me, believe it or not, actually was very popular. So I ended up buying a hook lift truck and 7 dumpsters. It was a 1988 International. It was a steel box I called Tank, no AC, just an absolute brute of a truck, but it started every time I turned the key. So I started delivering cans while I was working at Buffalo, at Buffalo Trace, the distillery I was at. And man, it was a gruesome start. It was, I would go to work at 7 o'clock at night, get off at 7 in the morning, take a nap till like 11, get up, deliver dumpsters all day, go back to work, same, and then rinse and repeat over and over and over again. Well, I had a guy call me one day about a year into it, and he was like, "Hey, do you all do demo?" And I was like, sure, I'll knock some stuff down, whatever. I'll be your Huckleberry. And so went and did this demo. Hindsight's 2020. That was 4 years ago. We did a horrible job, but he was pleased with it. So whatever. Made some good money, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And this is kind of the part where the story goes from, okay, we're just not your routine demo guy. I had a friend of mine from high school who owned a remodeling company, very high end, very luxury type homes. And he called me one day and was like, "Hey, we should do some work together. Come do some demos for me." Well, I learned very, very quickly what high-end remodelers, what contractors, what homeowners, most importantly, are looking for when you're coming to tear their house apart. They're looking for red carpet, boutique, like the works. And, there's a lot of emotions involved in that. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I call it managing emotions with the client, because you're tearing their house apart. It's a very stressful time for them. So I learned very quickly how to help manage that. And just kind of over the next 2 years while I was still working at the distillery, I would go to work, cold call contractors. I would cold call real estate companies. I would cold call everybody every day for 2 years. And then I finally built the Rolodex deep enough that I left there, which was a great job, 6-figure job, loved it. But I just took the leap, left there. And then, that was 2.5 years ago. The rest is kind of history. And now we do, residential and commercial demolition for renovations for, a laundry list of contractors in Central Kentucky, doing, very well as far as revenue goes with zero ad spend. I don't fight for jobs. I don't bid against many people other than maybe in the commercial setting. Keep a full schedule year round, and, just have a great reputation as far as being a boutique demo guy. I know that sounds like a double negative, but there is a lot that goes into setting the stage for the client and the contractor before you tear the house apart. That's just kind of really all there is to it. And now we're here talking to the Forget About It family.
So how did you, okay, at the beginning and everything, it's got to be stressful and all. So like, how do you, like, as somebody getting into it, they're doing junk removal.
Yep.
How did you start, like, kind of dabbling with demo? Because I'm like, for that job that you're telling me about with the 10 by 20 and you're saying get equipment and all, that right there, it's adding a whole nother stress factor to me. I've never, first off, rented equipment. I've never driven equipment. So like, how do I kind of ease into this?
Yeah.
Is there a way?
Yeah, if you're going to ease into it, my recommendation, this goes for anybody, even without very much experience, is to look for small time-ish remodeling contractors in your area. Reach out to them and just, be very personable, like, treat them like people, not like a robot. Don't call them and I talk like a robot, but treat as, just tell them what you're doing. Say, hey, this is me, this is what I do, this is what I can offer you. And, if you've got any bathroom remodel demos are about as simple as it gets in most cases. There are some cases that it can be a complete nightmare, but for the most part, kitchens and bathrooms is about as simple as it gets. So, just reach out to those people, those contractors, and say, hey, I'd love to do some kitchens, love to do some bathrooms for you. And watch a handful of YouTube videos or reach out to some of the guys in the industry, whether it's Yee or me, or my messages are always open, or anybody, if you've got any questions. And it's once you do a half a dozen, you start to get the hang of it and you start to get comfortable and you start to learn, and it helps if you've got any construction knowledge at all. If you know how stuff goes together, it's much easier to take apart. Like I don't even bring a sledgehammer to our projects. We have one, we do own one for concrete and stuff like that, but I don't use a sledgehammer. Everything that's put together by a man's hand can be taken apart by a man's hand. And I don't mean a man specifically. And it can be a woman too. I'm just saying, if a person put it together, a person can take it apart. So, just dive in and get your feet wet. I even offered demos for free when I started. I was like, if you're not pleased with the product, I'll just do it for free. And, guys would be like, well, you're not going to do it for, I said, no, I'll do it for free. I won't charge you a penny. If I get done and you're not pleased with it, I won't charge you a penny. And it worked. You just have to get in front of people. And most importantly, just like junk removal or anything, you just have to provide the best service and the best product that you possibly can. And if you do that and you pick up the phone and show up on time, then everything else just follows suit.
Now, Austin, is there any special licensing or anything that you had to do, or is it the same as junk removal?
Yeah, so I can speak only for Kentucky and a couple other states that we've done some out-of-state stuff in, which are Tennessee, Indiana, and Ohio. But for my state specifically, there is no contractor license for, demolition is not a recognized trade. I don't agree with it, but whatever. But there is no license. Anybody with a hammer and a pry bar can take your stuff away. Yeah, or tear your house apart or whatever. Now, when you get into totals and tearing down total structures, then you have to pull permits. You do have to have licenses, stuff like that. But if you're just doing the smaller end stuff, there is no requirements at all, essentially. But if you want to be competitive in the space, if you want to make good money in the space, if you want to have reoccurring work, you're going to want to have it, the business licenses in those areas, all the insurances and stuff that we all have that the contractors are going to require. I don't do any work for investors at all, ever. And that's because they don't require most guys to have those insurances and licenses and all that stuff. So I can't compete with their prices. So I do zero work for investors, which is fine. I don't mind it. But if you want to be competitive in the space, you've got to have at least at the bare minimum business licenses and insurance and stuff, but there is no requirements on who can demo what in Kentucky.
Guys, if we have Timo in the chat, please tune in, brother. Let us know what the deal is with demo in California. And the reason why I asked that is Timo was in contracting before. Now he's focusing on demolition and junk removal in SoCal. So, he'll know the laws and everything. So, put me and Mr. Yee on. But after hearing all this, Mr. Yee, I mean, I think demo is a really good, addition, and it kind of like separates us from the other junk removal companies. What's your thoughts on that, brother?
I think that, we do a lot of small, we call it light demo, as you're experiencing right now with hot tub removal. Some people, I offer countertop removal, cabinet removal, and, occasionally a bathtub removal. But we have to recognize you have to have a little bit of common sense. And you have to have a little bit of knowing of handyman type. Go turn the water off. Make sure the water's off. And, you have to know about certain tools. So that's why a lot of people don't like to get into the big demo jobs, because there's a lot of risk. Because one little thing can go, you didn't know there's a pipe right there. You didn't know there's a wire right there. Or the contractors before who came in hid something behind the wall, because you never know until you find what's behind the wall. And there was a live wire. And even if you turn off the power, sometimes things are not wired right. And there's still a live wire. And that can that can help you run out the door. I'm done with this
See,
shit.
that's the shit that you gotta understand. Austin, you sound like you're a handyman. You put things together. You gotta understand. A guy like me, man, I never did anything with my hands before this. Junk removal is my physical. That's so I'm thinking of when demo, I'm just like, yo, take a fucking sledgehammer and just start slamming things, and that's demo to me. But I'm realizing there's a lot more, and there's a big learning curve. So I'm just trying to break it all down and figure out like how do I go about this and kind of start learning this trait.
A fun fact was, and I still get made fun of for this today. So I did not grow up around construction. I didn't really have my hand in it much, but I've got some common sense and I'm not a dummy. So I was able to quickly learn. But one of the very first kitchens I ever demoed, the guy said, take the soffit out. He called me on the phone and he was like, hey, I changed my mind. Take the soffit out. Do either of you know what a soffit is? This is a rhetorical question. Okay. So I didn't either. That's what I'm getting at. I had no idea what a soffit was. A soffit is like, if you look above the cabinets in your kitchen, that's where, if there's a little framed box with some drywall on it, there might be some plumbing run through it. That's a soffit. Had no clue what a soffit was. I had to ask the contractor who I'm actively demoing this kitchen for, what's the soffit?
Yeah.
Right. And he was like, what do you mean? It's the thing above the cabinets. Oh, yeah. I knew that. Yeah, we're good.
I didn't
thought you said
understand
something else. Yeah. So I played it off, demoed the soffit, and then just learned and just started banking knowledge as we went. Like I said, I had no idea in the beginning. So, but the margins are great. The way I price things is light years different than the way some of my competitors price things locally. Just a little bit of insight on that is I am actually 90% hourly on my demo jobs. And that's from long-term relationships, people that that trust us and know how efficient we can be. They're like, okay, here's the address, put it on the schedule, get it done, send me the bill. Versus having to go quote everything. And there's a reason for that. It's as long as my guys are working, the company's making money because it's on an hourly model. I cannot lose money unless I break something. If I tear something up or break something that I have to repair, then I might lose money on a project if it's a small one. But if the guys are working, the company is generating revenue at a margin that we need. So a very different pricing model than a lot of guys, but it works for us. But as far as getting into it, back to what your question was, Paul, it's just one of the things you have to dive into if you're interested in it, because there's a lot of different avenues that junk removal and light demo can take you to. To give you an example, all of our contractors that we do demos for, we end up coming back about a month later to do what I call as a midway construction clean. So, and it's just something that I tie into the demo and I offer to our clients, where we go back to just take up the floor protection and put fresh floor protection down, clean up the workspace area because the electrician and the plumber and everybody else has left a giant mess. And so our demo has translated into, hey, we'll come back and we'll clean all this up for you about halfway through after drywall, make it look good for your client. Contractors love it. It's a moneymaker and something to fill a schedule with. And then that can lead into, anything else. So demo has led us into water mitigation. So now we do, dry outs and water mitigation coupled with the demo for those water losses. So a wise man once told me, and this is a friend of mine, that instead of going after every client you can possibly get, offer more to the clients that you already have. And, how can I be the guy what do I need to do to be the guy when a contractor or client or a homeowner has a problem? It might not be junk or demo related, but you're the guy they think of immediately. Even if you can't provide a service that they're looking for, you might be able to help them find a service that they're looking for, which in the future will lead to junk removal or more, reoccurring work. So I think it's purely a dive in, just let it rip, give it a chance. If you fail miserably, try again. You can do what I did and offer it for free. If they don't like it, watch a handful of YouTube videos or whatever it is. But there's a lot of information out there and a lot of good people to kind of help walk through it.
Solutions that come up that they come to you for. Solutions. How do we get this? How do we get that? And it's just a door opener for so many other paths. As he said, he's doing water situations now. He's doing cleanups. So junk removal is almost the same way, because now you're going to start offering construction debris cleanups. And I just did one the other day, and it's a mess. But as we all know, construction out here in California, construction debris jobs are the most expensive jobs because it's a lot of wear and tear on your body. It's a lot of weight, and you got to know, you know what I mean. It's going to be a lot of work getting this, and there's a lot of risk at that. Nails, stuff you could step on, and everything on that floor wants to hurt you.
Mr.
And
Yee, can you read off some of the comments too? Because we got to catch up on them, man. We're falling behind
I'm
on
looking at the comments myself.
Yeah, I had to put my phone on airplane mode because I was getting so many. I'm getting blown up by
them.
everybody right now.
All right. So we got Andrew Barden. So Kevin says, Andrew Barden out of New Jersey, most of his business is demo. And then Denise says, it is a moneymaker, but when CEOs goes wrong, it can cost big. To start, have a general contractor.
I can start reading some if you want me to.
Yeah, go.
Okay, 7. Here's 7 figures junk removal. I think that's Russ Berry.
Yep.
Kevin, he has 6 junk trucks and rentals too. Then Denise, yes, I know what a soffit is. I didn't even know what it is, but Denise does. There you go. Then we got Kevin S. He makes big money in demo and fences fence removal along with his junk removal business. Then we got Russ again, 7 figure, sure does. We're good. Friends. I did this patience fence demo, Denise, you know what I mean? That was a really wise man. Hello. And we got Russ Berry again. Thank you for the service. And it's just, a lot of us do light demo. And whatever it takes. Like, Paulie, you're already dipping yourself into the pool with the hot tub removal.
Well, I did the same thing, kind of like what I did today, where I'm saying in my head, just tell her you can't handle it, tell her you can't, and then all of a sudden my mouth just does something else. Same thing with the hot tub. I was at that place. I'm just like, yeah, I could do it. I've never used a saw once in my life before that. I'm looking at my girl, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be interesting right now. And I just put myself in the situation, but I got to say this. I've always had this dream. I don't know if it was from when I was a little kid playing in the sandbox growing up with all, you had the big construction trucks. I always wanted to have a bunch of big equipment, like a bunch of trucks and like bobcats. And, I've dreamed of having that. So, this might be my calling here right now. And
I don't know, Paul. Are you sure you didn't dream about being in the bada bing? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I always see big money when it comes to, getting that equipment and all that. And there's not as much competition. There's not going to be people, cutting your throat, I wouldn't think too, man. It's, what do you think as far as that, Austin? Is it easier to lock in big jobs with demo than it is with junk removal, or is it kind of just as competitive?
It is, at least in my area specifically, when it comes to large projects, if we're talking multi-week plus projects or maybe a week plus projects, there are only a handful, at least in my area, that are probably capable on the junk removal side of like being competitive in that space because of equipment being trucks, trailers, and equipment manpower. On the demo side, it is extremely more competitive on the large project scale because, for example, some of the stuff I've bid on recently are, public contracts. There's out-of-state contractors, a dozen in-state contractors all over the state that are bidding these. And with commercial, it is a race to the bottom, mostly. So that's why I focus a lot on the relationships with, contractors, building the rapport over time. Right now we're working on a church demolition project for renovation. It's a 3-week project. It's a $46,000 job. And I did not have to fight for this project. And, that's the way I prefer it, and but the demo space on the commercial level is very, very competitive. On the residential side, not so much. But only for general contractors, not as much investors. Investors are going to use whoever they can. That is also a race to the bottom. General contractors are looking for premium service, so you can get paid for your premium service. But yeah, the junk removal space, I love the junk removal space. The margins are great. At least if I'm doing a junk removal project, the margins are great because we don't do a ton of them, and I'm usually significantly higher. But if we do lock one in, it's a great one. I love junk removal. It's how I started. We just don't do a ton of it anymore.
How many employees do you have on
I
staff?
have 9.
Wow. Okay.
What
Now-
equipment do you have now?
So this is my favorite question because I've always been a very slow growth concept guy. I do not try to hire a gazillion people and try to get every contract in the world. I let the company grow at its own pace. I don't push it. So that being said, I have 9 employees and I have 2 trucks, 1 trailer, and a Sprinter van that hauls all of our tools around.
So when you say trucks, what type of trucks are you
Okay,
talking
so I
about?
have 1 Isuzu. I have 1 cab over with an 18-yard box. I have 3 pickup trucks, 1 dump trailer, and a Sprinter van. And
yeah.
I did used to have some heavy equipment. I had since sold it because the maintenance is very high. And if you don't get a ton of work with equipment, the depreciation and the payments, if you're financing it, that stuff gets like wildly expensive. So I kind of trimmed the fat a little bit and got rid of the equipment and said, I'll just rent it when I need it, you know? So our rental rates here are probably way better than they are in California, but you know, to rent a skid steer for a day here, you're looking at like $300.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So-
those maintenance on those big diesels. Maintenance is you know, it's a big situation. I watch a lot of gold rush shows, and you know, it's constant breakdowns, constant hydraulic hoses, and it could be very mind frustrating.
So I know this isn't my. I just saw Russ we just did a 24 by 12 shed with sledgehammer, sawzall drill, 3 hours, $2,300. So it's very similar to the size that Paul was talking about that he was looking at. He was a 20 by 10. Now probably didn't have the grade and the hill to maneuver around. I'm assuming that Russ didn't, but you know, he was at $2,300. I said 25, and just because of the hill and stuff. So that was something that he did by hand. And that's what I was going back to saying was if you're looking at costs and margins, knock it out by hand, put in a little bit more of the grunt work. But if you're like on a tight schedule and just need to knock the thing out and you're not pinching pennies, knock it down with an excavator or a skidded or a mini skid or whatever it is, you know. But I just wanted to point that out because we were just talking about 20 by 10s not too long ago, and Russ is now talking about a 24 by 12. That was right in that ballpark.
Yeah, the Pauly situation it's a very sandy, very hilly area.
Yeah.
So Bodega Bay is all full of hills and you know dunes, and it's just very hard to get this. The house could be 200 yards away, and he has to go over there. So it's just like, you know, sometimes we have to, in junk removal, we have to learn how to say no, or let me get back to you. Let me get back to you. And you know, a lot of times, you know, you say the right words and you know it can actually help you. Let me get back at you, and let me come up with my team, and let me get some prices so I can get this priced and this priced and this price. And then Paulie just masterminded it like he does, and he's just sitting back smoking his stogie, and everybody else is doing what they got to do, and bada bing, bada boo. Forget about it.
As business owners and hustlers and entrepreneurs and however you want to phrase it, until we teach ourselves not to be, we have a tendency to be the yes man. Can you do this for me? Yes, I can. Right. But like he said, he was like, oh, this is too big. I shouldn't fool with this. And she's like, what do you think? And you're like, we can do it. You know, so that's, you know, I think we just all have a little bit of that in us to try to be the guy, you know, to solve problems, you know, offer solutions. And it's taken me years to try to work myself out of that. But here, as of recently, I've started to finally be able to kind of be selective with the projects that we take on, because some of them I'm just like, I just don't want to fool with it, you know. And I did want to touch one thing about liability. We were talking earlier about how stuff could come up on a demo, and this is for people that maybe have been doing demo for a while and are maybe looking to scale up to some of the bigger stuff. Is when it comes to anything bigger, like especially in a commercial setting. In a commercial setting, things change drastically, the way the finishes are put on. And then anything over 30, 40, 50 years old, you know, you have to look at like possible asbestos, like he was talking about with the shed. And we had an issue. Yeah, we had an issue back 2 weeks ago where we pulled the carpet up in an old building that we had already had the asbestos test done, but we pulled it up 9x9 tiles. And, I know just from experience that 9x9 tiles are, a oh shit moment. So we called the testing guy. He comes out, swabs it. Next day, hey, your floor is hot for asbestos. So we have to red light the whole project until it's abated. So, when it comes to liability, you just have to really pay attention. That's all there is to it. You just have to do your due diligence, pay attention, look for the way things are finished, and, just in your head, figure out the best way to take it apart.
Yeah, I think the right way for everybody watching and the people who are tuning in a little bit late is that grow, start light,
Yep.
and learn, and it just doesn't hurt to go to YouTube University. And when I used to do light jobs, and I first started doing my light jobs, and it was hot tub removal, shed removal, awning removal, gazebo removal, I would go to YouTube and watch somebody do a demo on a gazebo. And I would say, okay, I need this, I need that, and boom, bam. But a lot of times, you just have to just do a lot of research before you get into it. And if anything requires heavy duty equipment, you have to step back. And I recommend you tell your client, let me get back to you.
Yep.
Let me get back because you can go ahead, Paul.
I got to ask both of you guys, because you had said about YouTube University, who's some people that we could follow that are good demolition guys?
For instructional purposes, I don't really know of any myself. Just for instructional purposes, there's definitely some guys that have maybe some good like marketing type videos of demo and different types of demo videos, but not really instructional that I've seen. Maybe Yee's seen something that I haven't.
I always just type in what I need.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gazebo removal, the safest way. But now we have a thing called Chat GBT.
Oh yes.
Where you can type in how to remove a gazebo the most safest way. Give me a few examples and let me know what tools I would need.
Yep.
Oh, boom, bada. You know what I mean? You're done. There you go. There's the whole platform, your tools, you do. But as a junk removal, doing light junk removal, you're going to want to keep your sledgehammers. You're going to want to keep your, Zaw saws, scale saws, and 8-pounders. And I recommend, everybody, the all resource rescue blades that the fire department uses. They use those blades that they're at Lowe's and Home Depot, and they chop through everything like a samurai blade.
Yeah, they do. I agree.
And guys, if you're listening and you guys are, thinking about getting into demo or, you're going to go quote a job, feel free to hit up these guys. Hit up Austin. He knows what he's talking about. He can help you out. And somebody else that I want to make mention of is Russ Berry is one of them. He very skilled with demolition. So he's somebody that you might also want to reach out to. And another one, a young buck that really stood out to me, Nick Police at Jersey, Junk Police over there.
Junk Police.
They are killing it over there, and I always remember them saying kind of like same thing with you, man. They demos like where they're getting their bread and butter. That's what's making them the most money and all that. So it seems like guys that get into junk removal and then go and start dabbling with demo seems to be a big breadwinner over there. So
well, yeah, because a lot of contractors where they're subcontract you because you're going to do all the demo and you're going to do all the cleanup. So it's so beneficial for you guys to learn and take your time. Don't just jump in the deep end. Go in the light and work your way up, tread water and do the swimming test. And before you get up there and learn. And it doesn't hurt to ask people like Austin. Reach out to Austin on his Facebook, on his Instagram, on his YouTube, and, reach out and learn.
Austin, where's the best place for people to get in touch with you?
I would say Facebook is probably best. I will respond to almost every single message on Facebook. I look at them all. So Facebook would be the best place to reach me.
Well,
Mhm.
Austin, I want to thank you tonight for coming
man.
in here and sharing all this great info, bro. I really appreciate it. And I'm definitely going to hit you up. I'm going to send you a text after I get off the show, and definitely want to stay in touch with you. And I
Yeah.
have that clean out. It'll be not this next Monday, but the following Monday after that. And I'm going to make sure to take videos. I feel like a complete retard after that job, bro. I went there and it totally threw me off when I seen the size of this thing. I was supposed to take a video, have it all planned. None of that went down. It was just like a mess in my head. But anyways, I'm gonna stay in touch with you, brother, and hopefully you can help me
man.
out with that. But yeah, guys, feel free to hit up Austin on Facebook anytime you guys have any questions. And
Please do.
thanks again for coming on, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Yep. Hey, thanks for having me. Love to talk shop anytime. Feel free to shoot the text, whatever you want to do. Yee, it was good to meet you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Talk soon. Enjoy the rest of the show. We'll holler at y'all soon.
Thank you
good,
so
brother.
much.
Have a great night,
Later.
Austin.
That
So
was some
yeah,
heat.
that was I love it, man. That is, I'm gonna go through that and break that down, and now I kind of got a little more, my head wrapped around things. It's a little more intricate than I thought. It's not something that you can just be like, I got a sledgehammer, I'm gonna go handle this.
Well, I think you're witnessing, you know what I'm saying, as your first year in the business, you're witnessing, like, sometimes I gotta say, hang on, how do I handle this? Let me get back to you, because it's just we're so quick to be the yes man.
But I love this, bro. I love, what I was telling Russ earlier, man. I am absolutely loving this. And I got to make mention of this yesterday, man. I had an amazing day. The last few days, it was because last week I went away to New York. I had some things I had to handle over there, kind of refresh myself, came back. I set everything up for this week. So I got a full slammed every day, got a bunch of jobs. But yesterday was my biggest day yet. I had 6 jobs yesterday. It was 2,600 gross. I know it's not a big thing for you guys, but for me, that was like huge day. I was like so excited. And then I got the next few days going on. I got 4 or 5 jobs every single day. So, things are starting to come together, and it's just been, amazing. The grind, just going from one place to the other and nonstop from 7 a.m. to 7 at night. It was just amazing.
How are these jobs coming in?
So I am getting them from Nextdoor, Facebook. I don't think many are coming in from Google. I had that problem with Google and everything. So I kind of changed my, where I was putting my time and effort. And what is happening for me, which is I am just loving it. Everywhere we go, bro, people are recognizing us, and they're either saying they've seen us on Thumbtack, they've seen us at Nextdoor. They're like, "Oh, we just seen you and Chanel on Facebook groups," and I'm just like, "This is absolutely crazy." So, what I was doing in the industry, how I came in here, and I got known real quick in the junk removal industry, and it was great having all these junk removal companies. But I said to myself, it's not equal money in my pocket. How do I switch this around? So I changed my focus. I put all the junk removal companies under a different Facebook, and now I'm just marketing to my local people, and I am now seeing it, and it's showing with the phone. The phone is just blowing up all the time.
I think that you know what I mean. A lot of people put all their eggs in one basket, and they don't really realize is that SEO is becoming real small right now, because there's so much more coming into effect with AI and chat GBT that people are so used to with the search engine optimization, right? But actually it's search everywhere optimization. When you start mastering all of these things, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these, now you're being seen everywhere. So SEO is kind of small compared to what AI and chat GBT is doing. There's a tip for you guys right there.
I gotta say, it was a blessing in disguise with the whole Google setback, because when it first happened, it was like getting kicked in the nuts. It was messing with me mentally, and I'm like, damn, my phone's not ringing and all. But what it did to me is it lit a fire under me, and it was like, yo, Google is not going to control me. I am not letting this down. So then I just started going local with like the Nextdoor, the Facebook, the posts, and all, and that is the game changer right there. And what I'm learning is you're getting these repeat customers. That's the bread and butter. And the more you get those, they just keep you busy nonstop and all. So,
but not only that, But
Yeah.
not only, so I don't mean to cut you off, but not only that though, Paul, is that they're seeing you everywhere.
Yes.
Search everywhere. Search everywhere. Don't just search in one places, because there's a lot of people now. I hate to say it, but some of them not even going to Google.
Hell yeah.
Just,
Yeah, I gotta
I'm
say,
just saying.
Jeff said yesterday we did one job over 9,000 gross, over 5,500 profit.
Ooh,
This week was
whoa.
better than last month. Hell yeah, way to go, brother. Way to go, Jeff. Appreciate
Mhm,
it. Hell yeah, man.
Where's he out of? Where's Jeff out of again? I forgot.
I think that's Jeff from Minnesota, right? I believe that's Viking.
Oh yeah, he wants to punch my lights out, right?
Ah.
I forgot. That's Jeff. He wants to punch my lights out. I forgot.
Oh my god. And then what does Jamie say here? Local is the money, guys and gals. Let them know you and you will grow 100%. And I got to say, I am just loving it. You know, like we go out to dinner and it's feel like you know everybody. And then like when everybody's turning around or be like, yo, I see you all the time on social media. It's a really cool feeling. You know, it's like,
Well,
I
it's
feel like I'm the mayor of the area over here.
it's the brand that you are building, and you
Yeah.
planted that seed now, and now you're starting to see it grow. Just wait till it blooms and it starts to produce those fruits and those buds, and it just starts to become a powerhouse, and this crop just keeps on producing. And it's just like, whoa, my phone is going off so much. I gotta have a receptionist. I gotta have this. I gotta have this, and just boom.
And another thing that I got to say is, you guys, you know me and crypto and everything. Well, crypto has come to life. Everything that I was predicting and all, we weren't sure if that bull run was hitting. Well, guys, the bull run has come. Bitcoin is taking off, guys. I've been preaching this for some time now, and whoever listened, they are loving me right now. And I'm telling you, because it is about to take off. We're talking like life-changing money here. You know, they say, you know, there should be no discrepancy with adding a zero on your investment. So, you know, we're talking some big numbers. So, Jeff, I know you're talking big number. You just made that big money in there. Look into some bull run action, man. Get into the stock market, guys. Everything is blowing up right now for real.
Could be a millionaire overnight.
There you go.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
All right. Oh, we got William backstage. We're going to bring William on. So, guys, we got our main guest on here, guys, and we're going to dive in. This is one of the topics I really want to hit, and I think a lot of people want to hear this. This is we've been trying to figure out what website platform do you want to get put your website on, you know, and I've just learned recently and everything, you know, it makes a difference, you know, and if you want to maximize your potential and you want to have like the top website there is and be able to get all the plugins for SEO and all that, we're going to learn tonight which one that is. And let me bring William Jones on here. This is the man that is making the army out in the Philippines. It is the rank Fortress Army. This is the general himself right now, William Jones. Welcome to the show, brother. How are you today?
Doing great.
Ooh, William
I appreciate
Jones.
you. Yeah, you were mentioning Jeffrey Landing. He's out in Minnesota. He's one of our clients too, so that's why I think that's fucking kick-ass.
Oh, okay, Jeffrey. We know your secret now, Jeffrey. Okay.
Yeah, he came to me because he wasn't getting any results and stuff. He was one of the very first junk removal people that we brought on. So.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Jeff is a great guy, man. Me and Jeff been talking in the back channel. Jeffrey was actually the one that got me talking with William and all. And, you know, he was just like, bro, you need to talk to him. And, you know, I was a little resistant at first, you know, because I thought I had everything figured out and my team all built and everything. And then, you know, Jeff kept, you know, throwing little digs over there and like, what about this? And I'm just like, oh, shit. All right. And then I started listening to Jeff, and next thing me and William are in contact. And I got to say, over the last few months, I've been talking with William on a daily basis. And I got to say, I am impressed. I've had so many people on my show. I did a lot of interviews, really wanted to learn who was the real gurus in SEO and all that. And what I'm going to tell you guys is this guy, what he displays on a daily basis, there's, you know, when I ask him a question, I get an answer right there on the spot. There's no, he's got to go check anything. He don't got to talk with a team, or this man knows the answer and all. And I could vouch for that. I also could vouch for Mr. Yee, hired him. And in month one month, guys, he was ranking #1 in his area, in his town. You know, yes, Mr. E's been around for 5 years. Mr. E makes a lot of noise on the internet and everything, but you know, with the guidance of William, you know, he's definitely maximizing things and all. And also, William is now controlling my website. He's doing everything for me, and he's doing all my SEO. And I cannot wait to show the results for everybody. You guys know I had a little setback. I told you guys about a little hard suspension. You know, I kind of stepped on my own dick with that. But the thing that I really respect about William is William has this guarantee that nobody else has in the industry that I know of. And William's guarantee is if he does not have you ranked in the top 3 in your area in the first 3 months, he stops billing you right away. Now, that happened with me. Why? Because I stepped on my own dick and I got a hard suspension. Now, if I was William, I'd be like, yo, bro, you stepped on your own dick. That's your problem. It wasn't me. But William is a man of his word. And William said, yo, bro, I know you messed up. I got you, brother. We're going to stop the billing. I'm going to get you into the top 3 as soon as possible. He is not charging me anything as of right now. So this is a man that stands by his word. Even if you messed up, he will stand by his word. And I just want to say I respect that. And soon as I get my first time when I could show #1 spot in the area, I am going to show the world and preach the man's name. So,
and something I haven't even told you. So I've been picking up GMBs for junk removal space in certain cities, one of which is being Vegas. And I just got another one. So I got 2 that I got in. And what I'm probably going to start using is those are going to be actually specifically extra GMBs that I can use for clients. Because the more GMBs you have, obviously, the more phone calls you get. But you don't necessarily want to have them and then they go down, because these are not, you know, it's not like I can go invent a video at a building that I'm nowhere near. So
will you be if someone's in that area, you can have my GMB for a certain situation.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm starting to get them and pop up. And like I told Mr. Paulie here, I said, one of the things I'm actually doing, if you've ever watched any of my junk removal, because I actually have the junk removal course in which I'm basically just teaching everybody, this is the basics of SEO. You know, these are the very basics. Like I did an SEO audit yesterday. Guy's paying someone, I'm not going to, you know, say anybody, but he's paying them over $1,000 a month just for SEO. And when I did the audit, he doesn't even have a damn sitemap. A sitemap being the basics. Like when I take you on, do you have a sitemap? If not, I make it and submit it to Google. And you're not even doing that. So how does Google even know who you are? How do you know anything about you? Right?
William, like this is the question I got to ask when you say something like that. What is really going on when somebody is saying they claim that they do SEO and they take somebody's client's money, and then when you go and audit and look at that, what is actually going on?
So pretty soon, I'm probably going to start going in the groups again and grabbing the screenshots. And I've told you this, and I've told some other people this before. Do you know what the difference between a professional and amateur is? So a professional, if I told you, for example, hey, brother, I'm going to send you some pictures of my house, and I need it cleaned out. Can you tell me the price?
Yes.
By looking at it? Okay. An amateur, this is what happens in every junk removal group you see all the time. I mean, we see it. They go, hey, here's some pictures. How much should I charge for this? Number one, you're an amateur. You don't even know. So you're asking the pros for help, right? So what happens with SEOs? I'll hear this shit all the time. They go, well, anyone that is providing a guarantee that I'll get you ranked in a certain amount of time, that's a red flag. You need to run away from them. No, that is bullshit, because what's happening is you are wanting to do, like, have you ever been to a chiropractor and they just help you just enough just to keep you around, and they keep milking you and 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 keep you around for years? That's typical SEOs. And what I do is I go in and I say, listen, I can look at you and I tell you, say, I'll be honest with you, I can't do this in 3 months. This is going to be 6 months. You're nowhere to be found. You ain't got no address shown. You got all types of mess and everything, right? So I won't do it. right? And then I get other people. I look at them. I'm like, okay, you're in the top 10. All right, I know in 3 months or less, I'll have you in the top 3. This guy I looked at yesterday, he said, I can guarantee you're already in a 2-mile radius, which covers almost 1,000 square meters, which is like fucking huge. I said, you'll be in the top 3. Then we're going to come into Cincinnati in month 6, and that's going to be in a 5-mile radius. Now you're talking about like 4,000 square miles. I said, it's fucking huge. You should have around 10 trucks. Right. And the difference, you'll come into a lot of these groups, into the SEO groups, just like junk removal, and they'll literally go, I just picked up a client that is in this niche in this city. What do I do for SEO to get them ranked? So what they're doing, and you can go on any of these guys, you can, not going to name anybody names, but go on any of their websites, any of the big guys, so-called big guys that know how to do SEO and junk removal. Go on their website, go to their team, and see who their team is, right? And that's if they show their team. And I can guarantee you, most of their team that I've seen, that either look Filipino, I've talked to them, I've either coached them. A lot of the guys I've even coached myself, and I know they're outsourcing. I know 100% they're outsourcing.
So, William, let me just clarify what you're saying here so that they could really absorb this. So, some of the gurus that you're seeing out that are teaching everybody to SEO now, you've actually taught yourself, and they've outsourced to you to do their work. Okay, so that's very important.
And like I told you, I come with receipts. So anyone that ever wants to say, "Oh no, I didn't," okay, come on, I'll post the fucking receipts, bro.
So, William, do you think these so-called gurus and these other people in the States are upset at you, or
no? I mean, I don't. I used to, like I told Paulie before, I used to even think about it. Now I don't give a shit. I've just come to realization that if you'll have people that be like, well, William does this or this, and I'll tell people logically, let's think about this. This person lives in the United States of America. They have higher expenses. To hire an SEO in the United States costs you, let's say, $50,000, right? Let's say, this is just logics, right? I'm gonna break out a calculator. $50,000, or I can Google it and everything, but $50,000 on average. And if they have a team of 10 to manage, let's say, 30 clients, because that's on average, they need to be banking over $500,000 a month.
Whoa.
So I've had people come to me that want me to take over their company and do their SEO. I said, well, first thing I'm going to do is fire your entire staff, because I know how much they were spending. And I said, I know how much I would have to spend, right? This is one of the reasons, if you wanted me to, on my website, I now have at the very top says office tour. So I literally show the entire office. So I can show the team. So I can show everybody that actually does the work.
So, William, this is what I want to hear from you. Hold on, Mr. Yee. I really want to hit this home. This is something that we need to teach the community. What should they be looking for in the SEO guy? Let me put it like this. What are some red flags in that first conversation with an SEO guy that should say to yourself, okay, this might not be somebody I should be working with? Because I got to say, the most messages I get on a daily basis is people hitting me up and asking me who's real, who's not. I'm not going to say names, but they'll hit me up and they'll be like, so-and-so, what do you think? What have you heard? And I'm hearing probably about 4 or 5 messages a day of all different people asking that same question. So if we could teach them how to spot the right person from the beginning, I think this would solve a lot of problems in the industry.
Number one, if you ever want to know who's outsourcing, direct message me, and I'll tell you if I've ever worked with them. That's number one. Number two, I will give you the screenshots. So if they ever say, no, I didn't, I can show you, yes, they did. All right. I won't be, Exactly. Nomad Fitch. I was accused of that. For example, someone came in and I think said he outsources to rank forgers, and I pulled up my back end and I literally said, nope, never have, never has. I have no one in the junk removal space right now outsourcing to me whatsoever, but I have taught most of them SEO because when I first started GMB Pros, a lot of them came in and learned from me. Okay, and then started their own agency. So Mr. William right now is starting, like I told you, my own niche SEO agency that's just for junk removal, and my plan is to take over. Mr. Yeye, for example, said, a lot of people aren't even searching on Google. He's absolutely fucking correct. A lot of people, I don't even use Google most of the time. I go to fucking Chat GPT. And why do I go to, I've had people, I can show you so many on my calendar where my leads are coming in from Chat GPT. And people will say, well, there's, for example, Chat GPT SEO is different. Does your, come in, they'll try to use, if you will, shiny object syndrome where they go, are you using the new Geo or AI SEO? Well, number one, there's no fucking such thing. All right. SEO, if you will, Chat GPT and large language models, all they're doing is pulling from the sources online, i.e. on-page SEO, backlinks on-page SEO, press releases, all the authority backlinks you have. So they're already pulling my stuff off of there. In my plan, like I told you, we're starting that. But the thing is, when they're looking, let's say if someone calls me up, and I mean, just be honest, yeah, I appreciate that, Jeff. Just go to William. It will save you the headache. I agree. However, someone calls me up. I get calls all the time wanting to sell me SEO because I do national, international SEO. I'm like, dude, have you even done any research and looked at who you're talking to? Because I got like 70 plus staff. I actually live in the Philippines. You'll never match my prices. This is why most of them, and logically think about why they upset is because unless you move to the Philippines, you're never going to hit my prices, bro, ever. If you piss me off and you want me to compete with you, and I find out, for example, someone says, well, he offered it to me at $800. Okay, bitch, I give it to you $500.
William, hey, hang on.
I'll undercut you in a heartbeat just because I could.
William, just to clarify this,
Yeah.
are you Chat GPT?
Am I Chat GPT?
Yeah, I'm just saying, are you Chat GPT?
No.
Just to clear that
No.
up. I'm just okay.
No, but you can, Chat GPT. I literally had a client send me. He said, "You want me to tell you why?" And he sent me the screenshot, and that's why I sent to my team. I was like, "Holy shit!" He was like, "I looked up on Chat GPT, affordable SEO expert," and he said you came up, and I was like, "Really?" And so now I'm also working on junk removal, SEO expert, junk removal, SEO expert, stuff like that. Because here's the number one thing. Someone comes to me.
Hold on 1 second. I don't go too much more into that. Hold off on that. What I want to know here is what is the overall goal for junk removal and SEO with you?
Oh, take over the entire niche. I was just listening. Have you ever heard the John Wick song by Manson? It says, "We need guns, we need guns." There's a video.
RP Hulk Hogan.
I said, literally, that's my thing. I said, there's another scene I posted before. Have you ever seen, if you actually want to know what my whole, if you will, goal is with all of it, is you ever seen the movie with the Joker when he came out and it's The Dark Knight?
Yeah.
And he gets all the money from all the gangsters.
Yeah. I know he's a squealer.
This amount of money. Yeah.
He's a squealer. I know a squealer.
Yeah. So at the end with the other gangster, he has his pile of money and then they're pouring gas on it. And the gangster goes, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "It's not about the money. It's about, this city deserves a better class of criminal or whatever, if you will. For me, it's not about the money. It's about, my thing is, for instance, you go, I earn 7 figures and I'm scaling and all this crap, but yeah, you're outsourcing to the Philippines and you're paying people $200-300 a month. So if you're actually making that kind of money, why don't you have a team. Why don't you fly over here? Why don't you spend time with your team? Why don't you do things with your team? Why don't you give them money and stuff like that? The reality is, you know, that's my issue. It's not really anything else. And then a lot of them will go, my other thing is, I told you, I said, so number one thing I'd tell you is that if you're looking to hire an SEO, you know, I'm a straight shooter. You ask me if I don't know it, like I told you, Paulie, if I don't know the answer, I'm just going to tell you I don't know, and I'll look at it. But if I do know, then I'm just going to tell you. Number one, I look at, someone calls me, they want to sell SEO. I'm going to say, you know, I'll listen to everything they got to say. Then by the end, I'm going to say, hey, by the way, I would love an office tour. Can you show me your team? And if they start being, well, hemming and hawing, I'm like, well, I can't, you know, run the other way, because number one, they're outsourcing. Number two, they ain't got no damn team. I can show you one of the big dogs in freaking SEO right now, in white label SEO in
hold on, William. I don't want to cloud this. There's certain thing when you hit it, I just want everybody to absorb this. So you just hit something right there. A lot of people are getting fooled because there's a lot of good speakers in this industry. And it took me a good few months to really, you know, start absorbing the info, to start deciphering for my own self what's really going on. And what I mean is, you know, when you first get in, you have no idea what SEO is. They're saying all these big words and it's all words that you don't understand. So you're just like, oh, wow, this dude must be very smart, because I don't know what he's talking about right now. I feel like I should. So I'm just going to pay this guy money or whatever. Well, after a few months of, you know, doing my due diligence and, you know, getting all these gurus on and really picking their brain and doing the interviews with them, I started getting somewhat knowledge, because you start hearing the same things of what's true over and over, and you can start kind of figuring things out. Now I got a little more detail that I could ask, so I would ask a little more detailed questions. That's when reality kicked in for me. That's when I started hearing, oh, I got to get back to you. I got to go and reach out to my team, or I got to go talk to somebody. And then I started realizing, wow. And now I put myself in my own shoes. What am I a real master at? What am I a guru at? And that would be marijuana, fitness, you know, anything that I've had a passion in business with. You ask me anything about that, I could just go on forever on any topic there is. And I am just so confident. There's nothing that you're going to stump me with it. So now I'm like, wow, okay, who really can do that with the SEO?
Nobody.
Except right here, right now, William.
I can tell you, for example, one of the things my mentor told me, MJ Lopez, he's a Filipino, like Filipino Tony Robbins, right? On my team, turnover on my team, Jeff, I don't fire anybody. I mean, I haven't had to fire anybody. So we haven't fired anybody. I mean, we've had people say, well, I got to leave because my auntie wants me to go to college. That happens once in a blue moon, but I've fired one guy one time because we had to. That was the only person we had to, and we just rehired him back. He begged me, he sent me 2-3 messages. I don't want to be left out of Rank Fortress. So go back to your question again, your question regarding that. So go back to my mentor, MJ Lopez. One of the things he told me, can you talk, he doesn't ever prepare for his speeches, and neither do I. So I can get in front of an audience and talk from what's in here, right? Not just in here, but also in here. Most people that I have found, you know, for instance, you know, there's a certain one, he was in construction 2019, and then he got into SEO right around that time. And he started outsourcing right around that time, right? But the thing is, here's what I was doing when I came over here. I started GMB Pros up. And GMB Pros, they came in and I was teaching basic local SEO. I didn't realize there were so many people that wanted to learn it, if you will. And so I started teaching it. But most of them, what they do is they buy courses, they learn it, they regurgitate it. They don't actually, there's two people I could tell you. besides myself, there's another one named Chris Palmer, right? Christopher Palmer, SEO, great guy. He's the only other one that I would tell anyone to follow in local SEO.
What about Paul James?
No, Guru.
A guru.
What about all the guys in?
When I say Guru, he knows what he's doing, but he's more into, if you will, here's how to make quick money, right?
Okay.
He's more into go use this tool, and he's promoting those tools. So the one that I would tell you could follow, but he doesn't do it anymore, is Chase Rayner. He's one of the top, besides myself, he's the number one hated guy in SEO. But the guy banks over $3 million yearly doing with just affiliate SEO. But back in the day, he used to do over the shoulder audits like I do. There's only one other person that will do that. It's Chris Palmer. If I go, hey, let me show you how to find out your competition site map, and I show you over the shoulder how I do it. Same thing. I can show you, like, for example, with the websites and stuff. How do I know? Why do I say choose WordPress or choose this site? Because I go to the top 3, whoever's the big dogs in ranking in your area. I look at what they are doing. None of them are fucking using Duda. They're not using Wix. They're not using Weebly and Shopify. They're using WordPress or direct HTML. All right. And then I look at their backlinks and everything like that. But most of these guys, you said, for instance, they talk.
Hold on 1 second.
No. Give me 1 second. So you said, for instance, they use big language and these long words. They'll talk about semantics and semantic mastery and all this words that you probably don't understand. I know, but I use layman's terms. They use those big words because it makes them sound smart and makes you sound stupid. And then it makes you feel like you should give them more money because they sound smarter, like a doctor. Reality is they're dumb just like you. In the terms when it comes to SEO, they're no smarter than you. Then half of them, if you ask them, hey, show me an actual SEO audit, show me your actual process, they can't do it. They'll never do it live like Chris Palmer will do it, or I'll do it. I do the shit live.
This is what I got to hear from you right now. This is the juicy part that I need to pull out. Is
Juicy.
there anybody in junk removal that is doing SEO that you would say is official?
No, not a.
Okay, now hold on. From that, if somebody feels they are and they, don't agree with you, is there any way that we could do like some sort of challenge where we start?
Yeah, I'm always for it.
Site up and and see
always
who gets the results. So you would be down to do that. So if somebody feels insulted or anything and they want to stand up, because right now William is saying everybody in junk removal industry, as far as SEO, is not legit.
Go for it.
So if
I can mention one guy's name that said, for example, he used to run a certain big, person's team. He's one of the number one people in junk removal space. I know most people hate this company. But the guy came to me, wants me to teach his entire team. I quoted him over, 2 bands to teach him.
2,000, everybody. 2,000.
20.
Oh, 20. Can we?
20 large.
20
large.
Do we get to know who this is? You said you don't care about saying his name. Do we get to
know? JRA.
Oh, Lee. Okay.
Yeah. So the guy used to run with him. So, for example, most of them, what they'll do is
Hey, hold on. I just missed that. Wait, hold on. Say that again. Yeah, no, I didn't. That was over my head. So wait. So what happened with JRA?
No, one of his guys has come to me and wants me to teach their team.
Okay, so somebody that works with JRA, or
you got it.
One of his guys who's trying to launch their own situation and start their own. I'm the best at SEO. Reached out to Mr. William.
So besides him, then for another example, like I told him, I said, any of them. I've done challenges with another friend of mine, Holly Starks, and a bunch of them. In SEO, it's like we like to go, okay, if you're the best at it, put a website up, brand new, Jeff. And when it comes to Duda, if you're ranking, dude, I'm not going to tell you to go off of Duda. I keep you on Duda, so it don't matter to me.
But we need to get into that topic after this. We are going to come right back to that, because this is the main topic of tonight: is Duda versus WordPress or WordPress versus any other platform in there.
Yeah.
That is the main subject that I really want to dive in, because there is kind of confusing info out there and all. And I'm one of those guys that, you know, I want to, when I do something, I want to have the capability of maxing it out. I want to get to the top level. So I wish I would have knew that.
If you allow me to screen share, then I'll do that, and I can show you exactly how I do it. But like you talking about, just issue a challenge and drop it. Say, who's the number one SEO in junk removal space, and tag all of them. Tag Lewis, tag Matt, tag JR, tag all of them. I'll go for it.
This clip right now, we are making a clip as we speak. This is going to go out there because this is what the community wants, guys. You know, I'm not trying to come in here and stir things up. I'm trying to find the truth for everybody so that it's not going to cost you guys all money. I'd rather be the bad guy and bring out the truth and have a bunch of other people hating me, but at least you guys ain't going to get robbed no more. And you guys at least know, you know, you're not going to get Matt Fitched, as we call in the junk removal world.
Hey, Paul, you are the bad guy, but it's okay. Don't worry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and don't worry all the time, because I've had people go, what's his name? Well, yeah, I don't really talk about William. I keep my mouth shut unless I'm pressed.
William, I've had so many people reach out to me, message me, and ask me about you. Is William real deal? And I say, hey, go on his Facebook.
No, and I tell people, even, you know, there was, and I was telling Paulie, there's one lady that was in the group. She's in there just going on and on.
I know that was yesterday, right?
I was just like, and I told him, I said, you know what? My thing is, you got to understand, I own multiple businesses myself. So I'm actually, and I've been in the industry and I see what's going on. So my whole goal, and I know y'all been robbed and dealt with wrongly over and over. I think Viking came to me at first. And he came through me through Andrew, and I did his stuff for free, okay, until I got him ranked. Why did I do that? It's because Andrew had asked me, okay, and I did that. And then once he got ranked, he said, okay, I want to continue, so I'm going to pay you, because he'd been screwed over, dude. And I just wanted to show him, hey, I'm legit. There's another guy just signed up today. Oh, I can't afford the $3K. Okay, give me $597. Just deposit and pay as you go. Okay, if you're so good, if you're so freaking good, for example, in SEO, why don't you do a 3-month guarantee?
See, that's what, yo, bro, right there. That's got to be spotlighted right there, because before this, hold on, William, stop this. You can't stop this one, bro. Before we got in, before I've heard it talk to you or anything, I just kept hearing 6 to 12 months. That's where you can't ask for anything about results until 6 to 12 months. And that just was not sitting good in my head. That was bothering me a little, because I'm like, damn, man.
Well, here's one for you.
Hold on. Just hear me out on this. To sit there and pay all that money, and I'm doing the math and everything, and some of these guys, a couple of $1,000s a month, and I'm like, before I even know if you know what you're talking about, I'm over 10K. So that was like a problem to me. Then you came around.
That's with them.
But hold on. You come on my show, and then you came and dropped that bomb. And I was just like, whoa, 3 months guarantee.
Yeah. And I showed Paulie mine after 1 month.
1 month.
It blew his fucking mind.
That's how Andrew had originally came to me with a client of his that had the issue. And he said he wanted to test me and see if I was real. Within 2 months, I had him in the top 3. And then he was like, oh, crap.
So, guys, you guys got to understand this, because we just kept hearing for everybody in the communities, oh, you can't expect SEO for 6 months and all this. Well, now you guys are seeing it's a lie, man, because he's able to do it. He did it for Mr. Yee in 1 month. If I didn't have that hard suspension, I would have been there. I was at number 4.
Yeah, literally, for example, when someone's, hey, Owen, yeah, we got a call next week too. And this will be our second call, but
hold on, Owen. My bad, brother. When I just seen your name, we did not connect yet, man, on the phone. Hit me up after the show, brother. We'll get on the phone call. Sorry.
So, for example, I literally show them when they're on an onboarding call my clients, and I'll say these are the clients, and I'll go, here's their rankings. And I said, the ones that aren't in, like I said, ask Mr. Paulie. I tell him, say, ask him if I'm charging them or not. I said, and out of the top 5, we go back to Duda. Out of the 5 that I can't get ranked, all 5 of them are on Duda. Okay, in junk removal. Now, I've seen other niches where I can get them ranked. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But out of 5 of them, all on Duda, only one of them are a service area based business. The rest have addresses shown. You tell me what's the wrong picture in that.
It's Duda, guys, and yes, it is still good, but wouldn't you want to be something
Sometimes
that
it
you
ranks.
can maximize? Like if you're in a really highly competitive area, wouldn't you want to just come in right off with WordPress if you know that's going to be the best? I mean, that's the way I would want to go. I wouldn't want to come in there with second best, knowing that right off the bat.
I mean, for instance, Andrew the other day had said, if you're good at SEO, if you're really good at SEO, which he knows I am, he said you can rank on anything. That's true. I give you that. That is true. I can rank Shopify, Wix, or Dude on anything. Do you have $10,000 for one backlink on Forbes magazine though? No. Okay. So can the average business owner rank on anything? No, because you can't afford the backlinks. Some backlinks that you would need that will actually rank you on anything go from anywhere from a couple of $100s for a backlink to thousands. Okay. Like I have the guy on my damn messenger sells them anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000. Okay. In USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Forbes magazine.
William,
okay?
How important is backlinks? Because a lot of people,
Me,
do I need
None.
it or don't I need it?
What I'm thinking, Mr. E, we got to go snatch somebody up that could give us a backlink. Hey, bro, you want to go?
No. So for me, there are different. So there are different ways. Like and I'd have to show you one of these days. We're going to have to do a live where I can show you all this stuff and screen share. But if you've ever used, have you ever used a Google document, Google spreadsheet,
Google Doc,
Google Calendar, Google Site, any of that? Yeah. Well, we use all of Google's assets. We use those old school black hat, which is what I used to be. Is we're using Google's assets, those things which are public. You can make them public.
Explain what black hat is for the guys right now.
There's no one that, if they say they're black hat, there's no one that's really black hat SEO. Black hat is I crack into Paulie's bank account and I take all of his money and put it in mine. He didn't even know I did it. That's black hat. Okay. No SEO out there that I know, there are some that I can tell you are true black hat. Okay. And they've also been prosecuted and, okay. I'm not going to drop names, but I can, they're there. Then there's most of the people they'll say, oh, they're black hat. And all they're doing, they're at minimum or maximum, they are gray hat SEO. Gray hat is I build backlinks and I do off-page SEO. White hat SEO is I don't do any off-page SEO whatsoever. And I'm praying that the Google gods that they're going to pick up on what I'm doing and they're going to rank me. Right.
So what do you think about these guys who say that they're the best at Google ads and they can just give you so much business? I think we had someone on the show.
Liar.
Oh, there we go.
They're lying because just think about it this way. Okay. Someone is always going to be better than you. If you think you're the best, you think you've arrived. You think God can't teach you any lessons. You don't think God can make someone better than you? Really, I'm not the best at SEO. I tell people all the time. I said, I'm not the best. I just am dumb enough. I look at certain things and I put it together and then I understand it. So for me, SEO is I look at the top 3 people. Like I don't look at number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't care if you ranked any, a Weebly or Wix or Shopify site number 6 in 10 months. Who gives a shit? It ain't number 3, ain't making no damn money that way. Yeah. Okay. I look at the top 3. What are they on? What are their backlinks? What type of backlinks they got? What's their website look like? What platform is it on? I duplicate everything they did. I add a little bit of my own sauce or seasoning onto it, and I'll outrank them. It's not hard. I don't have to go, well, we need a semantics and this and this and this. I tell people, for example, a sitemap. What's a sitemap? It's how you structure your website. Home, about us, services, things, service areas, and contact us, right? No one can know everything because Google changes straight up. See, how do you know everything? All right. But a sitemap, here's how to explain it. If I said the word hamburger, you would think of a beef patty, 2 pieces of bread, some condiments. You say hamburger to Google, and they go, Whataburger, Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's,
Who rank?
Hardee's, all thousands and thousands of different ingredients and variants. And if I say junk removal to most of you, oh, junk removal. No. They think of every type of junk removal, every asset, furniture, appliance, hot tub, trash, debris, hoarders, cleanouts, all that. And you ain't got none of that on your website. So for me, that's layman's term and saying, well, you know, Paulie, the problem why you're not ranking is you don't have the semantic site ground. And you sound all professional and you sound like you know what you're talking about. The reality is you don't know.
But
You just use
something
a big
else
ass-
that has to be, spotlighted is by you having so many people, meaning you have 80 employees and everything. Just imagine how many clients they're servicing to have 80 people. So what he's learned, but hold on. It's not about that. It's what you're learning from all that experience nonstop. You're able to test out, experiment with this. Okay, I think this might be I might have found some here. Let me try the next 3 with that. Now we do that. Oh, I got the same exact results.
Correct.
Now let me throw a little sprinkly seasoning on that. What does that do? So you see where I'm going with this, guys? This guy is telling how he's learning, how he's getting experience. And unless they have an army and they're doing like this, there's no way that
the average SEO, because I've mentioned that before, let's say they say, well, I did this on the GMB, right? Or on ranking, and this person ranked. I've done it for 5 people. That's a coincidence. That's a coincidence. If I say I've done it on hundreds. That's no longer coincidence. Okay. That's no longer a hypothesis. That's fact. Okay. If I look at, for example, in junk removal, I go, I've ranked a couple of the guys on Duda, but out of these 5 right here, the service area, business address is shown and everything, and they're not ranking, and they have all the content I normally, and everything else is the same, all the backlinks, everything. What's wrong? What should I do? You go back and go, what's the one thing that they all have in common? They're all on Duda. So maybe I should switch that. Right now I'm switching out of 5 of them, 3 of them said they'll switch because I only charge $5.97 for a web build. It's crazy.
So William, what for the listeners out there, what do you what do you think about GoDaddy?
If you want me to GoDaddy?
Yeah.
I don't use them. I don't use GoDaddy sites. I don't use Wix. I don't use Weebly. But what I do, for example, if someone comes to me, they want me to do an audit, I look at their site. Are they ranking or not? Okay. If they're not ranking,
let me just cut you off for 1 second and we're going to get right back. Guys in the chat, please put down where your website is, what platform you use. I really want to know that. Also want to shout out Pat Balance. He's in the house. He never comments. I appreciate the comments. He just says it's a road atlas for Google. It tells them everything it's supposed to. And also want to shout him out. He's the guy that gave my wraps on my dump truck and on my Ram truck. He's the guy, if you guys need your logos done or anything like that, be sure to hit up Pat Balance. You can hit him up on Facebook. And if you guys want, you saw my truck and everything, it is definitely a standout piece. That's all Pat right there. So shout out to Pat. Thank you for tuning in, brother. And what did he just say? Duda for people that know how to build websites. Laughing out loud. All right, so let's get back into that, William. Tell us about, what is important, as far as picking your platform. What's your recommendation?
So do this for me. Do a screen share. I put it in the window down here, and that way.
Okay, got it. Boom.
So this is Local Dominator. Y'all know this guy right here.
Sippy, shout out to Sippy, my man. How you doing, brother?
So, for instance, let's use you. Nothing against you, Kippy, but let's use you.
So Kippy is working with William. Is that what
Sippy? It's
no,
Kippy,
he's not.
Huh? My bad.
He's not working with me. But I just want to show you. So, for example, when someone says, for example, that he's, Kippy is ranked number 1 in his area in a 1 mile radius, yes. But for me, a 1 mile radius is like kissing your sister. It's like, it's not hard. But in a 2 mile radius, you see what's happening. He starts losing rankings. So if Kippy came to me, what I would do is I'd say, okay, Kippy. So imagine what's really cool, and I'll show you this too. In ChatGPT, we can do this. This is really cool. Let's say I go to this, and like I said, nothing against you, Kippy, whatsoever. I think you're pretty cool. But someone had said something, so I pulled up your site. But this is the image of that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this image, and I go copy, and I go into ChatGPT, for example, and I just go, how many green spots on
And
this
guys,
map?
I want to hear your platforms. I only see 2 of them up there. I see Denise says GoDaddy, Owen says Wix. Please post up what you guys are using your website on. What platform are you using?
So I'm basically asking ChatGPT, I'm saying, according to this map, what percentage is he in the top 3? So this tells me, for example, what I'm looking for. And I have another way of doing it, but it takes 5 minutes. In this platform, you just literally go analyze this, and it will analyze everything. But when it's done, all said and done, it comes back and says the top green, is about 60%. So if you're only ranking, in the top 60%, right here, 62% are in the top 3 positions. So is that amazing? No, it's not amazing. And why is it not amazing? Because you're missing out on 40% of the traffic.
So where would that put him, like on a 1 through 5?
He's about at a 3, but in my mind, it's like, okay, let's say you're making, I don't know how much you're making. Let's say you're making $50,000 a month. So if you're got 60% of the traffic and you're making 50,000, imagine you could make about another 40K. So you can go from 50K a month to 90K a month. Why wouldn't you want to do it? Now,
William, is there somewhere where he could look on it? Is it on his homepage that would show where his website is?
What do you mean?
Like
as far as his rankings, he'd have to.
No. As far as where is it on WordPress, Duda, GoDaddy?
Now, yeah, let me show you that. I will go back and show you where I go to, because there's a couple of things that I go to. Let me just do an entire screen. So if I can't look at a site, let's say if it was Kippy's site, I don't even know the name of his business without going back here. Kippy hauls it. So if I went to Google and I type in, okay, Kippy hauls it. So yeah, Kippy hauls it. That's what I thought it was. But I normally will right click, and I go and, I will look at the code. And I know most guys are like, I don't know code, but I'm going to show you anyways. View page source. I can generally look at this and tell you what he's going to be on. I look through this. I'm looking specifically, like, you can go control find WordPress. There's no WordPress. So I know he's not on WordPress usually. So I go copy it. And then I'll go over here and I go to, it's called built with. And then I type in the website and it will tell me what it's built with. So I look through all this. I go down here. It tells me every plugin, everything he's connected to, website hosting providers, SSL he's on. So I don't see, if you will, what he's on. So this is going to be an unusual one. He might have actually, it says sauce. It might be a GHL Go High Level, but I don't see the plugins there for Go High Level. I know it's not WordPress. I know it's not Duda, because Duda will straight up tell you it's Duda. So I don't know. Looking at this, I can't tell you what he's
like
on.
looking under the engine of a car the way he sounds, bro. It's so funny.
So normally, let's say if I put in, just for example, rank fortress.
Yo, can you look up Jeff? He just asked. He said, look up my website on Local Dominate. I'm curious how many 2, 3, and 5 mile radius are.
Yeah, I will. So on rank fortress, you can see I'm using Go High Level. I do have Go High Level tabs in, but these widgets will tell you immediately I'm using WordPress. Now Viking.
and I think, guys, while William's doing that, I think what you're seeing right here is that a lot of other SEO guys are not going to be doing this. They're going to be like, let me get back to you. Hang on, I gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta put a request in or this or that. And look what William is doing right here, right in front of you guys, live and direct. And you know what I mean? This is a bonus for you guys. And all we ask is you guys just hit that like and subscribe button.
So you see, when we took Viking, content management system is Duda. So I know it's on Duda, but imagine he's still ranking on Duda. But let's go back here. So I'll come back to you, Jeff. But so for example, when I want to say, okay, I want to do whatever these guys are doing. Let's say it wasn't Kippy. Let's say Kippy, I want to start getting you ranked green.
How about Junk Guys? Say it was Junk Guys. So
anybody, I'm gonna click on like here.
Yo, can you look up Junk Guys? That's Ricardo. I think a lot of people want to see that.
Sorry to say that.
We'll get back to Junk Guys. I'm gonna run the ranking report here. Junk Guys. Let's go to maps.
Woo! It's about to get real.
Junk Guys. I don't even know.
DFW.
Junk Guys in Cali?
No,
Junk
DFW.
In where?
Frisco,
Dallas,
Texas.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
There he is. Junk Guys, Dallas. If I can't find him this way, I'll look him up. Dallas Junk Guys?
No,
that's not him.
All right, let me do another one.
Yeah.
Junk Guys. And what's his name?
Ricardo.
There he is on the top. That's him right there, I think.
Ricardo Junk Guys.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in Dallas. Let's look up this guy, Junk Guys, Dallas, Fort Worth. I just need a map. I need something that I need his map listing if you want me to do it. Junk Guys.
Oh, Triple G says, "What's up, y'all? I just started Rank Fortress. Hope to be at the top soon." Hell yeah!
Awesome.
Wow.
I know he's Dallas Fort Worth.
It's probably then if it's Dallas Fort Worth, it is probably this guy.
There it is. That's it right there.
All right. So what does he build on? I mean, he has an ugly looking website, but it doesn't matter.
Well, he's built it himself, and he's so. He's
using WordPress. I can tell you immediately. He's using GoDaddy content delivery.
So he is. So he is paying, and he's using WordPress because I think he said that he did everything organically all by himself.
Bullshit.
Oh.
GoDaddy, no, not WordPress. He's using a GoDaddy website builder. All right. So let's take this.
GoDaddy.
And we'll come back to you. I'm going to show you something, Kippy, on this. But so how do we figure this part out? So we got him here, and I'm looking for, just this is all a mess, bro.
Yeah, it's confusing.
You don't have
man.
Pat Balance says his website sucks.
Fuck. So now you guys are seeing less is best. Less is best.
Well,
Ricky,
this isn't
what
proper.
Are you doing
this
there,
is
man?
where
18 years, I thought you would have learned, bro.
Silo meaning if you go home and then services and residential and commercial, and then everything's in a pillar. When you just throw it up on the website, I'm going to leave just because it's confusing as crap. But
getting sick and dizzy just looking at it.
Junk Guys.
Let's see that ranking.
Now, mind you, if he's ranking, I'm not going to tell you to change jack crap.
Yeah.
This is the truth right now. This $45 refrigerators work. Let's see, folks. What do we think?
Not that. So I'm just trying to find his map. So you have his listings and stuff, but I'm trying to look for his actual map.
Bet his bounce rate is 95%.
So let's do this. It's another way of finding this guy. Junk Guys.
Trying to look up his location, his address.
Yeah, his Junk Guy.
See how hard it is to find him? Wow.
So this alone tells you got a problem, bro.
Yeah, to see how
I should be able to very easily find you.
That's a problem, Ricky. You're
And-
sleeping, man. You gotta do something. You gotta get on Instagram, Ricky. That's where it's at, man. You're messing it all up now.
There's
Using
like
Instagram.
nothing there. So now this is how I had to find him. All right, here's his address, but does he even have his GMB embedded on here? No GMB embedded on here.
Yeah.
Now let's look up.
Wait, says Ricardo ranks 1,000% from 15 years of YouTube videos.
Oh, that's on YouTube. I mean,
Yeah, that's a whole that's a different
that has
situation.
nothing. And YouTube is easy to rank on. I can rank on YouTube in 5 minutes.
Damn, so he's not even ranking in his area? Is that what's going on here?
That's why I'm just trying to find him.
Yeah, we can't even find him. That is crazy, man.
So if I pop in, let's say Junk Guys, Dallas, Fort Worth,
Maybe we have another chance finding his haunted house.
No. Dallas Junk Guys, is this him?
No.
No.
So no. So I mean, I can't do an audit that way. So let me go back to Kippy. What I would do, let's say if I wanted to rank him here.
So Junk Guys Frisco is his son's business. Maybe we should look and see. Maybe his son's easier to find.
Frisco.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said Frisco, Texas.
So let's see. Does Gen Z rank over here? Let's see. Is he better? Right there. The son. There you go. What's his son's name again?
So I know.
Carson.
You know his son has actually come to me.
No, it's not.
Oh,
His son has actually come to me, and I know, for example, we did a audit for him.
See, his son is not Carson, but his son is I forgot. Jesus, Marcy Madison or something like that.
No, it's something else.
So let's say with him, I'd go new scan.
Orson.
Excuse me.
Orson. There you go. What a name, Orson.
And I go maps and Junk Guys Frisco. And then I usually have over here, sometimes the internet's a little bit slow and it won't pop up. There's a plugin I had there. It is called Plepper. And Plepper tells me everything about this business. So the category he's in is debris.
Wait, Orson isn't his son. Oh, we're bad, bro. We should start making up. We're giving Ricky a whole different family and all that.
So, for example, when I look at this, you're in the wrong GMB category. Your number one category is debris removal, and it should be junk removal. Right?
Oh.
You are verified. You have your address shown, which is good, right? So I can look at all type. This basically tells me everything I want to know behind the scenes, if you will, what his coordinates are. This is the KGID is the, if you will, the code that Google assigns to you, because Google assigns codes to everybody. So if you have a brand, they're going to assign you a code. And you'll get to see this on someone else, Kippy. So I'm going to show you this, but I'm not going to do debris removal because to me, you want cheap jobs, you can go after debris removal, but junk removal near me, right?
Yep.
And I'm not going to do anything else because all of it falls into play when you do. Excuse me.
You okay over there?
Yeah, we can't lose you now, bro. I'm not ranked yet, man. Chill.
No, first thing in the morning, I have coughs like that because I drink coffee and it gets phlegmy. So you're not in Dallas, but I can guarantee the guy probably wants to get close to Dallas. A lot of times people try to rank in Dallas, even though they're not in Dallas or Fort Worth. So we want to do a 1 mile radius. Usually, we want to see if you're at least ranking in 1 mile. That's the first thing we start with. And then after that, we'll go to 2 miles and 3 miles, etc.
So is that like the second month or third month?
Month one, we try as soon as we can, but depends. Our guarantee is at least within that 1 mile radius, and then after that 1 mile, we expand out. So I know he's in the top 4. Just looking at this, so he's in the top 4. So he's not doing bad in a 1 mile radius. But like I said, that's like kissing your sister. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't even be doing it. But even that, he's not in the top 3 all across. So he's missing out on about 40% of all the traffic based on this map.
Okay.
Now I can look at, if I click on any of these things, like say, for example, I want
to that Frisco area though. Is that
yeah, that's where he's at.
okay?
So if I click on any of these numbers, it tells me my competition, who's actually outranking me in those areas, right? And so I can look at this and I'll go, okay, Junk Quest is outranking Haul It Off Lopez and Trash Formers. This one has an address shown. This one doesn't. This one doesn't. This one does. This one does. This one does. Now, how many reviews this guy got? 591, 145, 87, 259. So I can immediately tell you why I'm not going to be able to outrank him. Is it because of reviews? No, because I got 304. So it's not because of reviews here or here or here. But number one, yes. Then I look at his website. I can literally scan him, find out how he's ranking everywhere. And then I go to his website, you know, look at this and say, okay, is it a WordPress website or is it not a WordPress website? You know, and I look at all these different variations. I don't just go, well, I'm going to do a cookie cutter approach and do your SEO the way everybody else does it. He's on Duda. So that's a good one. He is on Duda on that one. That one I'd go, okay, if he's on Duda, because I know everybody wants to see this now, I'm going to scan the bitch and just to go, I wonder if he's actually ranking everywhere or is it just in that one little area? So I can see, is it possible for him to rank a Duda site? This would be a good test. If I want to go in anything outside of kissing my sister. Can it be done? Let's look at that. But like I said, when we're clicking on these things, what it is, or pins, if you will, we're trying to see what is everybody else doing. And so I'll click on there, especially as you get towards Dallas, you're going to see he's getting redder and redder. And I go, okay, address shown, address shown, address shown, address shown. But then you have a client that says, well, I want to hide my address. Okay, well, then you don't want to rank.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Because all the top people have their address shown. That's why. So let's go back to here. Is it possible to rank a Duda site in the top 3 without kissing your sister? No, he's not in the top 3. So if you want to look at that map, Mr. Junk Quest, this is what you look like.
Whoa.
You're kissing your sister. You barely have probably 10% in the top 3. The rest of
a
it,
lot of you were all going, see, you could do it and do that, but look at that.
No, and then I'm doing it. I'm not like everybody else. I'm doing it live. So I could either eat my words or I could be like, you know, it's actually going to rank. So I look at all these things and I go, what is everybody else doing? Like Junk King, I guarantee everybody says Junk King ranks, dominates. Let's see if they dominate like everybody thinks they do. I already know the answer to this.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
They don't.
Me either.
And that's what most people think they do, but I can tell you where they are actually spending most of their money at, and it ain't on SEO.
Jeff says, don't forget to look me up. Show some Williams kick-ass team results.
Yeah, well, I actually have you. Let me pull it up while I'm doing this too, Jeff. So it's running it, and we'll pull up. I'm gonna pull up SEMrush.
Are you talking about businesses in Texas?
No.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to give me a hard time while it's running it, but it's running it. I have too many windows open right now to do Junk King, but let me shut these out first. So does he dominate? No.
I wonder if JT Solutions is ranking higher than Ricardo, and maybe that's why there's a little friction there where he kind of hates on them a little bit.
After seeing what Ricardo's looking like, I think
this
anybody's
is Junk. This is Junk King.
We can't even find Ricardo, bro. Like we can't even, I've never seen where you can't find somebody on it.
As you see, this is Junk King, and they are not dominating, not even remotely.
Wow.
So how do they get most of their leads, William?
Word of mouth and just the being the
Wrong.
franchise name.
They build a brand, i.e. the franchise name. You'll
Mhm.
never, ever be able to beat them when it comes to ads. And you want to know why?
They have a bigger budget.
You want to know how big their budget is? They're getting 10,000 views per month, spending $50,000 a month
God,
in ads.
that's crazy.
Okay, so you can't compete with them on that level. But as you can see, I can whoop their ass in all this level.
Yeah. And the majority of the people, they're going to be on top sponsored. So a lot of people are going to go with the, the ones underneath because they're going to say, okay, they're going to be cheaper. Let me see the ones underneath.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, generally speaking, one way we look at, so for example, if I'm doing lead generation, I go, how can I, if you will, outrank them? I go the SEO way, and then I can start doing Google ads and etc. In a 1 mile radius, we already Junk Viking. We already have
You know what? We didn't talk about Yee. What's going on with your Facebook ads, man? Any good results yet? Anything yet?
Yeah, we're just waiting to get more data from it and more into it. And we're definitely getting the I would say the inquiries. Inquiries are coming every day. And it's just landing them and just figuring out what works for us. And
so this isn't a 2 mile radius. You're already in the top 3 Viking
Yes.
for the term junk removal.
So that's a 3 mile radius.
That's a 2 mile. We're working on 3 miles next.
Wow, that's
So,
pretty good. Yeah,
that's where he's at right now. And that's for the term junk removal. That's not even for, slap the city on.
Yeah.
And how long did that take to get looking like that?
I think that, how long have you been with us, Jeff? Just out of curiosity. I mean,
Probably a few months. If you don't remember, he's probably going to say now.
Excuse me. Lon, can you give me some ice water, please?
I see a lot of people, not many people are using WordPress. From what we just seen, I think there was only one other person, that was Pat Balance, that was using WordPress in the chat. You know what I mean? So that's an interesting thing. Everybody seems to be all over different.
I think
platforms.
Jeff just said 4 months. He's been working with William for 4 months now.
So 2 miles, and next we're working on 3 miles. Once you're at 3 miles, this is where I say now you need to decide if you need 4 or 5 trucks. Yeah. And if you want to go out 5 miles, that's where your goal is 10 miles. It's like whenever I'm talking to someone, for example, I say, tell me about your business. I don't just jump into SEO. It's like, tell me about your business, you Mr. Yay. Where are you at? How much are you making? You can tell me to F off, or you can give me the honest truth.
Yeah.
And then you can tell me, I make 20,000 this month.
You know what I like, bro? You were calling him the same thing I was calling him at the beginning. He calls you, what was it, yay?
Yeah.
I was saying that at the beginning. It's yee. He gets all crazy.
Mr. Mr. Yee. But the thing is, it just depends on what your goals are, And then I say maybe you don't want 10 trucks.
No.
Now for junk removal Minneapolis, a big ass city, he's in the top 3.
In the 3 mile radius.
That's it. No, this is a 1 mile radius. So next we're working on 2 mile radius for Minneapolis.
So I'm guessing maybe Jeff had complications that
we work on a bunch of different keywords, but generally it's like we do the, like I said, this right here. When I look at this, William, this would take me.
You gotta tell me this, man. Where's the hardest place that you have right now? To
Vegas.
Get right? Vegas, huh?
Vegas. Okay.
What's
that's why I'm getting Vegas? And here's why, because Junk King has multiple GMBs. That's why I'm working on getting multiple GMBs.
Yeah. So now is it better for a business if they already come and reach out to you, William, and they already have a lot
So
of Google reviews?
You cannot even buy my SEO services. I'll look up North Bay for you. Whoever you
That's Ernesto. He's right here in
Ernesto,
Santa
yeah, I've
Rosa.
talked to him
Ignacio.
before.
Ignacio.
So I prefer you to actually come to me because at least what most white label agencies do is they will actually just go in there and buy shit.
Yeah.
They don't ask me because they think they know what to do. And the reality is they don't. So I prefer you to sit down and talk to me so I can go, what are your goals? Maybe you don't even need to do SEO. And I'll actually tell people, say, actually, you're doing amazing, brother. I mean, just stay with who you're with.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying like Lewis and all them, they could still do good SEO. I'm just saying, I know,
Well, I think some of your words are you don't want to fix something that's not broken
if
or
it's not broke, why are you going to
reinvent the wheel.
If it's on Wix and you're ranking, I don't care. It don't matter. It doesn't matter what it's on as long as it's ranking. But you can't come along and say, well, I can rank a Wix website in Vegas in the top 3. Go ahead. I know you can if you want to buy Forbes magazine backlinks and all that other crap. But the average Joe ain't got that kind of cash.
And the main thing that when I was looking it up, William, was the capabilities of like with the plugins that you were talking about with SEO. Those other websites, it was saying ChatGPT that they wouldn't be able to take it. They were too basic. And, it wouldn't, does that make sense? You know what I mean? Because that's what I looked up, and that's what ChatGPT says.
Vegas, thank you. Vegas has a lot of, the thing is, when I'm looking at it, it's not necessarily how big it is, it's how much competition you have in there. So there are some cities I'll look at, and you got, let's say, 20 people that do junk removal. That's nothing, bro. I could do that like easy. Yeah. Then you go to some place like Atlanta or Miami or Orlando or Vegas, and you got thousands. So, I mean, for me, I'm really working on Vegas. Why? Because it's a really tough niche, tough area, and that's going to be an amazing case study to build. Say, okay, if you want to call someone out and say, okay, let's choose some place like Dallas, Vegas, Miami, or Atlanta and rank them, and let's do it for free. Because I actually posted that. I said, let's do it for free. I'll do it. I posted in the group. Not one person said me, let's do it.
So the challenge, you're putting out the challenge.
I already put it out. I put it out on there earlier. I said, I'm gonna, I already said, let's try. If you can rank do the site in Dallas, let's see the whole process. In other words, I want to see how you do it. And I don't care how to do it because I'm not going to do it. But I know very well, just like everybody, you ain't going to be able to do it unless you get some very expensive backlinks. I've been doing this long enough to know. Patrick, that map checker right there is a map checker. That's not national. A map checker is local. If you want to check national, that's not going to be local SEO. That's going to be national SEO. And you use like SEMrush, or I have another tool that I use. And we do send out reports for all keywords or organic SEO. So, for example, when we do SEO, and Mr. Yee knows this, we'll do a blog. Everybody goes, oh, well, you're just doing blogs.
No.
We take the blog and we turn the blog into a video, embed that video onto the blog, then take that blog and turn it into about 4 podcasts, embed those podcasts on the YouTube video and on the blog. And then we turn it into a press release and do the same thing. And then on top of that, we dump all that information into our advanced G stack.
And I can vouch on it because I see.
Yeah, oh my God. I've seen when I see month 2, when I seen everything that went in there, I was like, oh my God. And then I remember that one day waking up and getting 1,000 emails. And I was like, yo, what just went down? And I'm like, is there some? And then I realized when I went and did a Google search, I'm on all these crazy directories everywhere, worldwide. They got
I'll show you guys this. There's a lot of people say this. If I look at, are you going to rank, for instance, and I'll say, do you have a brand? What's a brand? A brand means when I go to look you up, you're everywhere. So I'm not only everywhere when I look at Rank Fortress SEO, I got people running ads against me to try to steal traffic.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Same thing Yelp. Same thing Yelp does to Google.
Yep. Rank Fortress is there. I got videos there. I got my Facebook. This is a Google site. So this is a part of that drive stack I was showing you guys.
Mm-hmm.
A drive stack simply means all these assets right here is what I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't think I do it, so I had a guy
search everywhere optimization
that literally came in here. He's a friend of mine, big time in SEO. He looked up every single one of my stacks, and he said over 90% of them are on Google. And so, and a lot of SEOs will say, well, you can't rank a G stack. Well, this is a G stack, and it's ranking. And these are all the assets, the pictures, the documents, the PDFs, the slideshows. And this looks like to you, you probably, this is a full-blown website. Yeah, that's why we sell it for damn $5.97. But if it can't rank, then why is it on page 1 of Google? A brand, we got LinkedIn, we got school, then I got my Amazon. This is our cloud stack. Cloud stack being it's our advanced G stack embedded onto a cloud like AWS. But this is what we would call fancy terms would be an infinity ID loop. i.e., I'm feeding Google a bunch of information, and it goes in this perpetual loop of information. So then once again, more information about us.
Well, you're covering all the angles, so AI and Google is just seeing you everywhere. So therefore, you're popping up, and that's what a lot of people are not seeing or getting is that you gotta post, you gotta add, you gotta put your information out there, so AI, Google, ChatGPT sees you.
And then this is Google Documents. We're actually going to be doing today, actually, in Rank Fortress Academy. If you're not a part of it, my boy Ryan is going to be teaching how to do G stacks. So this is one of the Google Documents, and lo and behold, it's on page 1.
Page 1.
All right. And so this is one of my haters down here. Love them. This is once again one of the documents ranking on page 1. And people say, well, why would you want that on page 1? I want to take up as much space as on Google as I can. So you can look at up to 5 pages, and I own all 5 pages, i.e. 50 spots. So this is why I want to post every single day. This is why if you go to my Facebook, you'll see, for example, we're posting constantly there. We're posting on YouTube. We're posting on Instagram, TikTok, every possible place you can say we are posting, and it's being fed. And people will say, well, why would you do that? So, for example, if I look up North Bay junk removal, there's Google algorithm is in, if you will, sponsored ads, which is regular Google pay-per-click. Then there's LSA ads, which is different, which is an ad that appears in maps. Then there's organic, then there's Google Maps, and then you have Google Images algorithm. Then you got maps like I showed you already, right? And then you have video algorithm. Then you got short videos. Then you got news. Then you got forums. Are you hitting all these? Most people SEO, no, they're not. We hit all that shit. We hit every last bit of it. If you're doing paid ads with us, we're hitting that too, because we do paid ads on top of it. But most people are not. And here's the secret sauce behind it is like most people, like if I went to create a new, if I wanted to create, let's say, a new document now, right, on Google, could I share this document and make it public and get it indexed? No. It only literally says, for example, anyone with this file can edit it. I'm going to show you this. On this one right here, this is underneath my advanced G stack. So if I create it, you'll see that it's public. If I go share, right, you'll see that it's always public. like I just shared, right? It's public. It's not like it's hidden or anything of that nature. You go share, share, and you see it says public. Now, if I wanted to go create a new document today in today's world, and I went like this right here and I hit share, is it public or not public? It's not public. It just says anyone with the link can edit or view it. So I use an old school Google folder before they changed the rules. So I can use them to be public, which means indexed. If you just go in there and create your own documents, they're not going to be indexed. But the way I do it is we're using old school tactics. Most of what I do is old school SEO. It's not this new school crap.
Well, where can everybody get in touch with you, brother? And are you still doing? I remember you were doing once a week. You were doing like a class or SEO. Do you have anything like that going on right now?
So after next week, I'm going to start doing my classes again. But I do 5 days a week. So I teach in the morning, and it's more than once, bro. It's in the morning. In my morning, I'll do white label SEO, and I talk about what's white label SEO. In the evening, I talk about virtual assistants, and then once a week, I talk about junk removal SEO.
And then I also want to say that we're talking in the back channels. We're going to be announcing soon. Me and William are going to be doing a show together. We're going to do it's either going to be weekly or bi-weekly, but stay tuned for that, guys. We got some plans going on that's going to help out the community big time.
Y'all mentioned earlier, said, for example, how could I get backlinks? It's like Kippy saying he just did a bash on my community today, back to school bash. How would I get a backlink from that? So you can go into your city, and a lot of times you have city events and government events or church events and stuff, and you can go in there and sponsor those events for a few $100. And then what they'll do a lot of times, because I know this because we do events, and they'll give you a backlink onto their website. They'll post you on their social media, and all that's feeding those backlinks.
I got to say something about that too, because I actually just joined today, and that was the local BNI chapter, and now I get that backlink, and I also just joined the Chamber of Commerce, and you get a backlink with them as well. So just
so
something.
That's an excellent way to get a local backlink, just like Paulie did.
Yep.
And a cheaper way.
1,000 times cheaper.
No, not cheap, bro. That was
it's more relevant. Put it that way, it's more relevant. He's in Vegas. Nothing in fucking Vegas is cheap, bro. I mean, he's in Cali.
I think William, I think you need to fly me to the Philippines. And I think you need to fly me to the Philippines.
What were we talking about yesterday, William? I'm coming there too, bro.
I think you need to fly me to the Philippines and bring me to the headquarters and say, Mr. Yee, tell the world how you are in the Rank Fortress laboratory. Look at all these people at work. And my guys.
We actually, when we did our event last time, we had some of our other agencies came in and they did a tour because they want to know. I mean, there's Filipino agencies, which I actually don't mind helping. And I tell them, say, well, a lot of it, honestly, is business mindset. I don't teach SEO for the most part in like my speaking engagements and events. I teach mainly mindset because most people can't make it in business. And I tell people why I talk about where are you at in your business? Do you actually want 10 trucks? Because if you're not honest with yourself, maybe you don't. And so what I teach mainly is mindset. Maybe honestly, most people, there's a difference between having junk removal as a side hustle and being a legitimate business. There's a difference between being a freelancer in SEO and being a legitimate agency. There's a difference between being an SEO that brokers his services to someone else and a legitimate SEO that actually tests and teaches and scales. So scaling, for example, you'll be a lot, why I've helped this agency scale with their SEO and all this. Okay, so you're telling me if I gave you 1,000 clients today, you can handle it? No, you couldn't.
No,
we could. We could.
Mm-hmm. I bet. Yeah. I bet you could.
There's a difference, and you got to be able to grow with it and stuff like that. So But there's a difference. What I'm saying is, like, most people, if you're not honest with yourself, I teach people it's a mindset. It's a mindset game. And I tell you, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with having junk removal as a side hustle. There's nothing wrong with having SEO as a side hustle. But just be honest with yourself.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Not all people can handle it, bro. There's so many days where it's like, listen, I even told my wife, I said, I don't know why Paulie does junk removal. Fucking, he has, you know, his junk business, his weed business, and everything else. I'd be damn well retired smoking out, you know. But
Yeah.
I said, obviously
boring,
he likes it. Being, that's what I said.
It's
Obviously
boring,
he
man.
likes it.
I have a new video dropping, I think tomorrow. I have a new video dropping tomorrow, and I was just talking about that. You know, if a lot of you think it's slow, you know, it should be a side business for you. You should have a regular job or something else, and then have this on a side also until it picks back up. You should be doing so many.
Kippy, you'd love coming over here to where we're at. You know what I eat almost every damn night? Fucking chicken wings.
Chicken wings, Dobo. I'll be man.
We are
pancette.
You know, I'm been eating right, and I've been doing fasting, and we were exercising and stuff. But thing is, I usually eat chicken wings because it's higher in fat, higher in meat, and I eat mainly carnivore style diet, like steaks and shit. So, but you would love it.
But Paulie, don't get into
chicken wings. Won't
Paulie,
cost like $80 like they do in Cali, though.
William, stop. Paulie's gonna get into it. Trust me. That's another channel. That's another show. We're good. Don't worry. We're good. I'm taking more. I'm getting more magnesium in me now and more electrolytes. I gotta start tired of these spasms.
Yeah,
Paul,
you got to
don't do it, Paul.
Honestly, tell him, say, like with me, I tell him, say, the reason why my son, he works out and stuff. I mean, my son, to tell you, why do you work out so much? I like to eat. I like to eat. And only if I eat the way I eat now and I don't work out, I'm going to get fat. You know, and eventually he loves working out because he likes the results and body. And I told him, said, by the way, I have a friend that's in bodybuilding, Paul E. And I told him, he says, you need to start doing more wide grips and this and that, just like I've been telling you. He said, yeah, I do. And you know, he told me, he said, you know, that is true because a lot of times I skip back day. I said, yeah, just like you skip leg day, dude. Because he don't like working out legs with me. Because if he works out legs with me, he's gonna be puking.
So William, was it a national holiday the other day over there when a Manny Pacquiao fight was on?
No, but everybody, we were watching it.
Okay, I was just thinking that maybe
imagine having a senator in the United States or a president.
Yeah,
that does. I mean, they have one right now. It's the mayor and it's the head of police. They're going to have a boxing match, and I'm like, what in the fuck? But it's funny as crap. But yeah, Kippy, I'm going to put some lemon pepper wings. That
sounds about good right now. Some lemon pepper wings.
Yeah, we do it almost. We have chicken wings almost every night. Either that or steak is what I usually eat, and I eat salad as well. I was telling Paul Lee actually, and I have pictures of it back in the day. In my 20s and early 30s, I used to do bodybuilding, and I was in the magazine. I'd lost a lot of weight. I lost over 100 pounds, and then got into bodybuilding and personal training. So I used to work at Gold's Gym, old school Gold's Gym, and like World's Gym, the real gym. And you know, the people he knows are the people I watch, like CT Fletcher, Collie Muscle, all them from Cali. And I was telling him,
Big Boy, Cali Muscle, Big Boy. Those guys are killing the YouTube. I mean, the social media world right now.
But I mean, if anybody ever wants to be like, just audit my site, if you just message me, I'll literally just, you know, I do a quick loom and I show you, this is what you're doing right. This is what you're doing wrong. I don't really care if you come with us or not. I'm not after anybody's money. I've learned in life, if you chase money, money runs away. But if you help other people,
you get more in return.
And I want to say, guys, we're both, me and Mr. Yee, are working with him, and we're going to be reporting back, showing the results as it goes. You know, we've been showing it from day one. Also, want to make note, Mr. Yee's on 1 month in. We're with the Facebook ads, or keep us posted with everything with that.
Yes, we'll be dropping more knowledge about that on the show and letting you guys know.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. And if you don't get the results that you need and stuff, let me know and I'll audit it for you. Because I have, most people don't know, for instance, I got started not in SEO and web design. I got started in ads. Yeah. So I got started over almost 30 years ago in Google Ads, I was managing over $100,000 a month in ads.
Mhm.
So, and we have a way, we audit things and stuff. So I want to see the results and stuff. Cause a lot of times, people come up and say, I'm the best Google Ads person.
Yeah.
There's always someone to be better than. You just like, I can guarantee you, Paulie looks, buff. And for me, I'd go, damn, I wish I looked like that. But I know Paulie and I know people that actually work out. Paulie probably always has in his head, there's someone else that looks better than me. And I want to do something like him because I want to be better. It's not comparison. Comparison can either be torment, which is what it is for most people, or it can be, what are they doing that I can do?
Mhm.
Where am I screwing up in my life?
The thing that it is, man, is there's, even if you're at the top, even if you're the top dog, you could still be learning from others underneath you, because they'll have different strengths and different other abilities that you could learn from and then incorporate into your game. That's what I've always did with any industry I get in. So even like I'm talking about my mentor in the concert industry, this guy's worth a couple $100 million. I mean, this guy is really doing it large. That guy will learn from the janitor. If there's something that he could learn from it, he is going to be listening and learning from him. And he always taught me that. And, when I look at him, just like you were saying, I looked up to him like that. I'm like, yo, this guy's got a couple $100 million, very powerful man. Like that would be to me, that's like a peak in life. But he continually just is always learning from others and doesn't, look down at anybody and all that. And that is key to keep growing.
It's the same thing even with the SEO. Why would I go, for example, if you're good at SEO, let's do it together. Why?
Yeah.
Because then I want to go, if you can outrank me, then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go, okay, what is Lewis doing better than me? What's this guy doing better than me? I want to see what they're doing. I'm not going to be mad. I wouldn't be like, oh shit, Lewis outranked me or someone outranked me or Blue. I'm going to go, what are they doing that I'm not?
Here's a good example to understand that's very simple like this. I'll go look at somebody, I might have a better body than them, but I'll look at their arms and I'll be like, damn, dude, that dude's, or even better, their calves. What the hell are you doing with your calves? Those things are insane. So yeah, my rest of my body is better, but I could learn from that dude because whatever he's figured it out, it's working. Now I go incorporate that. It makes me better. That's what I'm trying to say with you, bro. You're always learning. You're not saying, yo, man, I'm the guy that knows everything in SEO. I can't learn nothing. You're going and looking. Every time you're going auditing somebody, you're going in their area, looking at their top 3 in the area, and you're going replicating that. That's putting your ego aside and saying, yo, bro, I could learn from
it's like most people are like, well, how do you know all that? It's like, go to my YouTube channel, and I literally used to do 2 lives a day doing audits. So 20 audits a week. You're talking 80 audits a month times over years. So I'm literally, as Ohm said, it's not that I'm the best. It's like I've seen enough consistent factors to know what it usually is. Your on-page SEO isn't on point. What platform is it on? Do you have the right amount of content? Like when you're in junk removal, for instance, besides doing the sitemap, we do 1 million words of content. So people are like, well, that's a lot of content. Yes, it's a lot of information that I get to feed Google, telling them that we're an expert in your city for junk removal. That's why Google then pays attention. And then all those blogs get dumped into the damn, Google Drive stack. The only backlinks we're doing are high authoritative backlinks and stuff, that sort of things.
How long does that usually take, a 1 million word?
It takes about 3 months to get it all done. Unless I'm putting them under pressure like I am for my junk removal SEO expert site. I said I want it done by next damn week. Because I have goals. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, we like goals.
I want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight, William. I really appreciate all the info that you're sharing with everybody here, and look forward to doing this show with you and really diving in and kind of just comparing things with the screen sharing and showing you. Just I like when we could just have the chat just ask you questions right there on the spot, and you showed us our expertise tonight, which I think is different. We haven't really seen that in the community where somebody's just going on live, and you could ask them anything right there, and they're going to answer right there. They're going to show you
Yeah,
how
that's
they
what I'm
do
saying.
it
It's
and
like when
everything.
you're showing it live like that, you're either going to be proven right or you're going to eat your own words.
And then
you
the other
ain't gonna
thing
be,
is
"Oh, I'm
you're
sorry, I'm
showing us,
wrong."
but you're showing us what you're actually doing, where nobody else, everybody makes it like it's this like foreign secret thing, like,
Yeah.
you know, I got this secret thing that I can't share with you, you know, but when I go in my closed basement, I'm going to put in this crazy stuff, and then all this shit's going to happen. You're showing us it's like what's really going on behind it, and you're not hiding it.
The only other person I know that does that is Chris Palmer. He's a friend of mine in the SEO community, and he does it live. And when he started with me, he had like, I think 5 VAs, and now he's up to like 12. But he does it live. Like he'll show you how to build backlinks, and he'll literally show you over the shoulder. This is what he does. This is the whole process. He's the only other SEO that does it. The only other one. Like today, we're getting ready after this. He's messaging me, my boy Ryan that works for me. We're doing a live in Rank Fortress Academy, and we're going to go live on YouTube and stuff where we're showing how to build an advanced G stack. You know, and he's going to say, this is all the assets we do now. If you want all the, you know, if you will, you want all the juice, it's going to take us about a week to train you. So we can do that, but there's going to be an associated cost with it. But we're going to go over what we do in the whole SOP.
Well, you're talking my language. I want to get lots of stacks, get extra juicy over here, baby. Let's do it, my man. I'm with it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for all the comments in there. If you guys haven't already, please smash that thumbs up button. Also, get over to Rank Fortress. Go over there. Subscribe. Get over to No Limit Holland. Subscribe over there. Hit them up on Facebook if you have any questions. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys again next week. Have a great night, everybody.
You guys have a good one. Be blessed.
Yeah, that was a good show right there.